The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is your favorite day of the week that isn't Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Yeah.
That's right. Today is risk-free same-game parlay Thursday Night Football Thursday, where we will attempt, not just as an office, not just as our extended family, we as a team of listeners and watchers will attempt to take millions and millions of dollars from FanDuel Sportsbook in a risk-free fashion. $10 is what the risk-free bet will be, and we have a parlay today that we have submitted this morning that I feel dandy about. A parlay, a risk-free same-game parlay that I feel most confident about. It's plus 1,029 is what it was. Okay, I don't know when it goes up. We will have to wait for it to go up to see what it exactly is, and when it goes up onto FanDuel, we will let everybody know. This is how I'm leaning early, and this is an obvious conversation piece, but tonight, the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champions travel to the city of brotherly love. Nick Sirianni time and play the Philadelphia Eagles on a short week. 6.5 points is the spread. Everybody thinks that's potentially going to 7. I see the Bucks winning good.
Oh, yeah. Handsomely.
I don't know why. I don't know how. They just beat the shit out of the Dolphins. The Dolphins stink, though. We know that. So that was a nice preseason game against the Dolphins to get the offense back on track. And if you do recall, last season, the offense wasn't as good. Tom wasn't as great. Then they all kind of hit a rhythm, and then boom, we're the Super Bowl champs. Is that what the Dolphins did to the Bucks? That makes me feel that way. Antonio Brown becoming a guy, that makes me feel even better now about what Mike Evans is going to see, what Godwin's going to see, what Cameron Brate's going to see, what Tom Brady's going to be able to see with Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, and this is no offense to Philadelphia. I believe the Eagles fans will show up in droves. I think the Philadelphia Eagles fans will be loud, and I believe they will potentially boo at some point tonight.
Absolutely.
And we have a risk-free same-game parlay where we will try to absolutely take advantage of FanDuel, their stupid lines, and obviously getting a chance to watch the Super Bowl champs play tonight is a beautiful treat for a Thursday night football game. We have that today to talk about. We have a guest, Ian Rappaport, for the weekly wrap-up with Rap Sheet and Friends, us being his friends. He'll join us in the second hour, and an old friend of ours. I think this is the first time we've had somebody that works at the place that he works on the show for some time.
Oh, yeah.
People ask why. Why did you potentially not have anybody from the worldwide leader on the show for a long time? Well, it's because, there was a little bit of a thing that happened where friends of mine that I've known for years and years and years at this point were not allowed to come on the show because they made a new mandate basically banning our show from anybody that worked at ESPN.
Yeah.
That became a much to-do, obviously. I didn't mean for it to become a to-do. I kind of understood it, kind of got it because of the world that we're in right now with how much money's available. But we mentioned it in the show, and the listeners of this show and the watchers of this show were not happy about it.
No, they were not.
Like, hey, we like when we get a chance to hear what the ESPN folks are actually like and they start chatting on this show. We like listening and watching to Pat and his friends talk like dumbasses to people that normally have to speak very properly. We enjoy that. And there was a little bit of a movement on the internet.
Yeah.
Just a tiny one.
Big time.
And I will forever be grateful for the community that we have so luckily been afforded to have I'm very lucky for the crew that we have. The boys here, the Toxic Table, obviously Diggs, everybody in the back. We have an incredibly hardworking crew, okay, that is that has really tried our best every single day for years and years, and everybody says this, but I'm just going to echo what everybody else says, and I want you to know that we actually every single day try to put on an average show.
Yeah.
Okay? Every day we're waking up. Let's make sure there's a little bit above average. Okay. And some days it's obviously much more difficult than others, but I think we have been very lucky that a group of people are like, hey, you dumbasses aren't that bad, and they spend their days with us and their time with us, and I feel like they're invested because we spend so much time together. We're live like 20 hours a week almost, maybe even more at this point with how long Hammer Down could potentially run. And we've built up an incredible community of people, and we are very thankful and grateful. In that situation, I don't think I even made like a call to action, nothing like that. Hashtag ESPN stinks was trending.
Yeah.
Okay, and I did not, because I have a lot of friends that work at ESPN still, even though there was a mandate. So I feel like some people potentially at ESPN took that as us saying that like they stink at their jobs, which, by the way, some, hey, let's not get this twisted. No. Okay, there are some that are over there, but there's a lot of people that we like and enjoy and feel like are talented. So that happened, and then all of a sudden a protocol got changed publicly. It was a big to-do, and I think a lot of people who potentially had no idea what we were or who we were maybe at another place when they found out really quickly because of our incredible people that follow along. So then they changed it. So then it had to be granted an opportunity to come on. So you have to just say, hey, I'm going on, which, by the way, I think is very fair. Just very fair, especially with what some people are getting paid over there. I think that is a fair assessment that they should be at. So we did it a couple times, and I didn't like the feeling of somebody else feeling maybe a similar person that potentially didn't want people to come on the show. I didn't like the feeling of them feeling empowered, that they were I didn't like that feeling. So friends of mine got banned from the show.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't want, first of all, I don't think as a grown man who I've been friends with for some time, like it makes sense from a business side why they would ask you to do this. I don't want you to have to send that. Hey, am I allowed? I think that makes you look bad. In my eyes, that makes you look bad, and I don't want to view you like that. So I'm not going to put you in that position. And also, I don't want that person to have to say, yes, you can. Feel as if they have any control over anything. So for some time, I didn't want to have that. I would like to let everybody know there's been great conversations that have been happening. There has been, some people trying to say, hey, we fucked up. All right? Fair. And I appreciate the hell out of that. And I'm excited about that. I'm thankful for that. And as we continue to evolve, I assume that's going to happen in a couple other places. I assume there's going to be places that are like, you're a punter in Indianapolis. What do you want? And, there's going to be probably a little bit more of that. And we're very thankful for that. And today we have old friend Matt Hasselbeck on the show.
Yeah! Let's go!
I fucking love Matt Hasselbeck.
Yeah. Massachusetts guy.
Everybody, literally, I think everybody that has ever met him or been around him and got a chance to work with him loves him. He grew up in the NFL forever. He is a Massachusetts guy. He has, he's a bit of a smart. We've seen him at coin tosses say, hey, we want the ball and we're going to score in a playoff game in overtime. He has a great personality. Got a chance to be teammates with him. He was very nice to me, taught me a lot of things. He's joining us. Ian Rappaport's joining us. It's going to be a great day here on this risk-free same-game parlay Thursday Night Football Thursday. Host of Hammer Down, Tone Diggs. What's up?
Hasselbeck was way too nice to the Bugle Boys when we were traveling around doing
Bingo.
Mr. Hasselbeck.
Mr. Hasselbeck.
He would come into this box truck that we had. So a couple years ago, whenever I had a run at ESPN and the boys and I had the show daily still, I was doing Get Up on Monday. So we would have to, this is in the middle of the football season. And if you've heard this before, I apologize, but I would like to replant this in some people's heads of what we did for an entire fall before COVID happened.
Yeah.
So on Sunday nights, 4:00 games, we wouldn't really get to see. We'd fly to New York. We'd stay in the World Trade Center. And then we would, I'd wake up at 5 a.m., had a 6 a.m. get up production meeting where it was cool, get to see that. do get up. Then we do our live show from a studio down the street. Then we'd hop in a plane, fly back to Indianapolis.
Yep.
Then on Wednesday nights, we'd stay in Indianapolis for Monday night, Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, we'd fly to wherever Thursday Night Football was. We would do the show in the back of a box truck that we purchased and built a studio in the back of it. Just a basic ass box truck that you were thinking. We built an entire studio with a glass section in it. There was air conditioning added later in the season, which was a pretty close to fatal air there for Ty. But we continued to go, and then we flew home on Thursday night after the Thursday night game that wasn't normally that interesting. And then Friday college game day. And it was just, this happened. Hasselbeck would join us on Wednesday nights in the back of a box truck for all the things that he has done with his life, how accomplished he is, how much money he's made. He's very wealthy, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
He would come in the back of that box truck at like 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
Midnight and just talk for like an hour for the podcast, and then he would wake up the next day. He was the reason I did the Thursday Night Football. He asked if I would do it with him, and he kind of got my name in there. So I can't wait to chat with him here in like
This
5
is when
minutes.
the podcast was separate from the live show.
Right.
Two different shows.
Two different shows. Yeah, so we were
Same shit.
Oh, God.
And we were making vlogs during that, and he always embraced the vlogs. He
Big
loved
time.
being on the camera.
Yeah, he did a
which I
couple
thought was
competitions.
Yep.
He was so cool.
Yeah, he's allowed back now. It's good.
Let's go.
Well, he doesn't have to ask anymore,
Right.
That's
which
big.
I don't know if he ever did, to be honest, because I don't know if
Different strategy.
he was I don't know
Yeah.
if he ever had to. I just kind of painted everybody in the same light over there because of like the 4 people that told us they had to. I don't know if Hasselbeck, because he just does what, Sunday night or Sunday.
NFL countdown. He also doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who's going to ask someone for permission to come talk to you.
Well, that's the interesting thing is I didn't want to. So it wasn't just about them allowing people to come on the show. It was me putting one of my friends in a situation where they would have to ask for permission to do something.
Yeah.
And that was just, I didn't enjoy, I don't know.
The thought of that.
I look at people differently because I just, that is something I could never do with my life. I have a lot of respect for people that can do it. I think it's an incredible trait to be able to do that. I have struggled with it. I think people see that throughout my life and my career. That is not something that I'm fantastic at, so I don't want anybody to be put in that position. But joining us now, a man who did not have to ask for permission to join us. I don't know if he ever did, to be honest with you. Absolute stud of an NFL quarterback, was a teammate of mine. Now you can see him on ESPN's Sunday NFL Countdown alongside Rex, Teddy, Samantha, and Randy Moss.
Hell yeah.
And Schefter.
Oh.
I wonder if this guy asked any questions. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Hasselbeck. What's up, dude?
What's up? How are you guys doing?
I'm great, man. How are you? Did you ever have to ask for permission to come on here? No. Yes? No? Was it awkward? Was it tough?
No, I came on all the time, but I got dumped for Aaron Rodgers though, which I understand.
Whoa!
Not true.
No. Hey, those two can coexist, obviously. It's great to see you again. You look good. You look very healthy. You look thin. You must be getting at it right now.
Trying to, man. Trying to. Got a little sloppy there. Early in the pandemic, I got in great shape. Then I got a little sloppy. Got like workout fatigue. Just trying to get back into it.
How's the schedule going with Sunday NFL Countdown over there? I get a chance to watch it when I wake up on Sundays. Love what you guys do. I think you're hilarious. The round table is good discussion. I think it provides great fodder. How's the season going? And has anything insane happened behind the scenes that maybe threw you through for a loop or anything?
Well, our show starts at 10 a.m., so now I know what time you wake up on Sundays.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Hey, these are long weeks, Hasselbeck. These are long weeks. I don't know how.
Yeah, no, hey, it's a great show. We have a ton of fun. We do it from New York City, and we went on the road for the Brady versus Belichick game back in Foxborough, which is a home game for me because I live here in Boston, and kind of a homecoming for Teddy Bruschi and Randy Moss. Rex Ryan was like a little bit uncomfortable though, all those years as the Jets coach and the Bills coach going back. So it was pretty fun. We just told everybody he was Bill Parcells. Some of the people believed us.
Smart.
It was a good time.
So was the live? Why don't you guys do that more often? Because it feels like was it live in front of a crowd? I must have missed it.
Yeah.
It was. What, you guys didn't want to do that? Or in New York, are you in front of a crowd? Is it Is it normally a traveling show, or you just did that because of how big the game was?
Yeah, so last year, because of COVID, we went to New York and filmed the show on the roof of a building inside of a tent. in New York, down in the Seaport, and it was actually really cool. We loved it. The table was set up for better discussion. It was just cool being in New York City. A lot of football fans in New York City, and of all different teams. So they liked it so much that we kept it this year. We're not on the roof anymore, but I just think it was kind of born out of COVID, and it was something that we'll keep. We have gone on the road for big games. We went to Pittsburgh, we went to Philly. We've gone different places, but this was a special thing. I think because of COVID, the rest of the year we'll be in New York City, which is also fine. It's a great place to talk about football.
Yeah, I think so. And as long as you have a camera working, I mean, that's all you really need, especially with the people that you have on that show, including yourself. Big storyline out of the NFL right now is that the Cardinals being the best team ever. What do you think it's? Do you think it's Mac Jones development? What do you think the big story is right now when it comes to teams in the NFL?
Are you talking about the Arizona Cardinals? Is that who you're talking about right now?
Talking about in your mind, what is the big news you think? Because for me, it's the Cardinals. For me, it's the Cardinals are unbelievable.
Obviously, the Arizona Cardinals are the only undefeated team, so it's easy to talk about that. Kyler Murray's been outstanding. Cliff Kingsbury, the big question was, would this air raid system that he's bringing from college, would that translate to the NFL? And it looked like it wasn't going to work. It really looked like it wasn't going to work. And I think you turn on the film this year, it is working. It is working huge. The thing that people don't really realize about the Arizona Cardinals, yeah, they're a four wides team, and yeah, they're in shotgun, and they're spreading you out, and they're going to, throw the ball all over the place, and Kyler's going to run all over the place. But they're actually a very, very physical run team, run downhill at you. So nobody's in four wides more than Arizona. They spread you out. And then they run this just kind of like this inside the tackle run game with James Conner, who's, as you guys know, a very, very physical runner. But they do it with the threat of the zone read with Kyler Murray keeping it. He doesn't really do it. He doesn't hold on to the ball that much. He doesn't run the ball that much. But you kind of have to honor it because if he ever does get loose, it's like letting a punt returner get loose. So they're actually a very physical run team. And then, yes, as a passer, he's a natural passer, and they're spreading it all around the field. They've obviously got DeAndre Hopkins, who's amazing, AJ Green. The guy no one really talks about, he's 5'7". His name's Rondale Moore from Purdue.
He doesn't talk either.
Go YouTube his squat and his vertical jump. It's great video. This kid is underrated. He should never come off the field.
Dude, he had a catch last week on the sideline where he caught it like by the ends of the ball, basically. It was one of the most... He came on our show and definitely gave the worst conversation we have ever had. Ever. Worse than Jerry. And I don't know if you remember the Jerry Rice conversation, but yeah.
Hey, look at you. You guys are quick.
Yeah.
That's the old Nate Burlson toe drag swag right there. That was one of the great throws and great catches of the week. And again, Kyler Murray, not a tall guy. I think Rondale Moore's 5'7", if I have that right. So two little guys in a big man's league just crushing it right now.
Yeah, absolutely. They're fun to watch. And toe drag swag. Could you imagine going from Good Morning Football to CBS This Morning talking about the Taliban? Could you imagine? He did that. I'm so impressed. I am so impressed. His life has to be so different.
Nate Burlson was a teammate of mine in Seattle, and really wasn't a starter for a little stretch there as a wide receiver. We had kind of he was the retaliatory signing after we had lost Steve Hutchinson. So then we got him from Minnesota to kind of get back at them. And he didn't start out as a starting receiver. So he said, you know what, I'm going to help the team any way I can. He was a punt returner and was an incredible punt returner and won some games for us as a punt returner and worked his way into the starting lineup as a wide receiver and was really an outstanding wide receiver too. But great personality, and anybody that's ever played with Nate is totally rooting for him right now. He's doing a great job.
I love that. I love to hear that about Nate. I think we've kind of got that from afar. But his life has to be vastly different. I mean, I'm so impressed. There's no way I could do. The first clip I saw of him, he had to report on, I think, bumper cars happening with the Taliban unloading AKs in the middle of the street. Like, that was his first thing. I'm like, yesterday he was rapping about which team in the NFL could potentially go, and now he's talking. It's incredibly impressive, and he's on Nickelodeon. He's crushing it.
Hey, that could be you someday. Would you ever make the switch to mainstream media and talk about like real world stuff?
No. They hate each other. They hate.
I knew the answer to that question.
I've kind of gotten into it a little bit, because we've had to talk about. The real world's come into the NFL a couple times. In a big way. So we've had to talk about it. And I've always thought this about that world. I've always thought, and you you kind of related to somebody in that world almost. I think I've always thought about it. It's just people yelling at each other from opposite ends of the spectrum, and then they move to the next topic, and it's just the same thing. I'm like, I don't know how you have that much energy, hate, and like commitment to making the world better that you are mad at everybody all the time. That is that world. I could not do it.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to wear sleeves in that world too. That's a deal breaker for you.
Well, and also
with arms like that.
Hey, also he's
and pants.
Yeah. Well, I've been wearing pants lately because I have been getting a little colder as I get older. What's that all about? I don't know. Let's talk about a quarterback that did get a little bit older. Good transition, real professional. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tom Brady. What's the deal? How's this happen? Is this because of avocado ice cream? Is he playing his best football right now? There's been that narrative out there. He was saying he's playing his best he's ever played. Was he wasted in New England with how they ran the operation, Matt Hasselbeck?
I would say there's 8 quarterbacks right now kind of in that MVP hunt. Tom Brady definitely is one of them. I don't know that you can say he's playing his best football ever because of that year that he had with Randy Moss was just – ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. But he looks like he's getting younger. I mean, they're using him on naked bootlegs. You saw him scramble for yards. What is he, 44 years old, and he's getting faster somehow? I know for me, and this is like a smaller sample size and very, very different, but I played 10 years in Seattle, and we're on field turf every day. And, like the weather gets tough in the winter. And then I went and signed with the Tennessee Titans down in Nashville. And it's just hot and humid. You're on this beautiful grass every day that you could like sleep on or use a sand wedge on. It's just like perfect. And so I think he's probably experiencing a little bit of that where he was up here in New England in the winter. It's field turf. Like we're going outside in the rain. And now he's down in beautiful, beautiful Tampa. It's hot and humid. The first 5 minutes of practice, you already feel like you're loose and ready to go.
The joints. The joints
feel good. Yeah, everyone's happy. He's got his guy Alex Guerrero down there with him doing soft tissue before, during, after, and he's the most pliable quarterback. So, and by the way, he's got probably the most talented offense that he's played with in a long, long time. So, it's not a surprise. I actually picked them to be the Super Bowl champions this year, which isn't a great thing because I'm usually not great at predictions. But on paper, they've got everything that they need for sure.
Let's talk about we're going to put that on ticker, by the way. ESPN analyst Matt Hasselbeck says Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to win the Super Bowl.
Whoa.
Okay. Well, I had already said it, but you can say it again.
Oh, so it's on record already somewhere. We missed it.
On record.
I was in the 10 o'clock hour. It was in the 10 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
I don't wake up till 11. I probably missed it. That's 100% on me. Let's go back to Tom Brady being the most pliable. And I think as somebody who's been around the NFL your entire life, literally your entire life, you understand and appreciate when players have businesses and everything like that. TB12, that was quite a controversy up there in New England on Alex Guerrero's relationship with Tom in the building. Was he allowed in there? Was he not allowed in there? When he was in there, he was working on a lot of guys, not just Tom. Then he got booted out of there. And everybody kind of just assumed it was a package deal wherever he goes next. Tampa has kind of bought in, I think, completely and said, hey, you get your own office. I think he's down. He's got his own sideline passes. Why would you? Now, I know Bill runs a different ship. Would you love that as a coach? Hate that as a coach? Because if he's winning and playing better and he's taking care of other people, isn't this good? Why was this potentially something? He's not the only one, by the way, Alex Guerrero. There's other body gurus that people have had that they've wanted in the building. Why do you think that is? And do you think that's something of the future where maybe guys will have their own personal people in the building more?
Yeah, I think it's a thing of the present, really. I mean, back when I played and you played, it was the team had their people. The team had a strength and conditioning coach, and the team had a head athletic trainer and a team doctor, and that was kind of it. They'd like to have control of all of that stuff. And some of the star players now, they've got their own person, whether it's a body coach, a massage therapist, a PT, physiotherapist. So I got my own strength coach. I do my own workout. That has definitely changed in the NFL, in particular for star players. And so some of the younger coaches and maybe even just like some of the more adaptable coaches have, kind of embraced that with their players. But it's a slippery slope, and I understand why coaches, if you got one guy saying like, hey, you should practice today, and another guy saying you shouldn't practice today, or one guy saying, hey, I need you to deadlift and squat, and another guy saying like, hey, you should never use free weights, it gets a little cloudy for the player. But I just think that's what the NFL has become. It's become the players have more power and more control than they've ever had in terms of how they decide to work out. And quite honestly, I believe the players should have that power. Ultimately, your film that you put out is your resume. You're investing in your body. We are grown-ups. We're not little kids. So, I just think it's probably about time that it's gone that way.
Yeah, especially if the players are paying them. Like everybody saw the picture of Russell Wilson with 5 body coaches around him on the Peloton. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He was strapped into the fighter jet.
Yeah.
He's strapped into the fighter jet thing. And it was like, you see that guy's an upper body coach. That guy's a leg coach. That's a cardio coach. That's a brain
listen,
coach.
the other one, Pat, like when we were playing, you weren't allowed to have your own personal cell phone with you during your workout, because posting was a thing, kind of like when you and I were teammates, putting it on your story or whatever. Nowadays, I feel like if you're a starting quarterback in the NFL or a drafted quarterback, it's like you don't go anywhere without like your personal photographer. Some of these workouts, I'm like, wow, that's a great workout, but like, who took this photo?
Hey.
Like it's like it's almost like if you didn't take a picture of it, the workout never happened.
Well, that's real because you'll be judged on your work ethic versus other people that are posting that they're working all the time. So it's kind of a victim of circumstance in that particular case if you're an introvert who doesn't want to do it. How about Shadowline, first of all, for Tom?
Awesome.
They are fucking unbelievable. I don't know if that's a collection of editors, if Shadowline is a singular. I have no idea what it is. That's Tom Brady's thing. Kyler, this video that Kyler just put out of this past week when he was in LA.
So good.
It was. They had him in 8K slow-mo highlights. They jogged out behind him as he was jogging out of the tunnel. I mean, it was unbelievable. Cool. I think it's accepted a lot more. I think it's just accepted a lot more. And I think the promotion is appreciated, especially from the teams and as you kind of get younger in marketing and everything like that. Let's move on to younger, not just Kyler. What have you seen out of any of these other young quarterbacks that gives you hope? And is there anybody that is like, I don't know if that's going to work out for them? Maybe it's a situation or how they're playing.
Are you talking about the rookie quarterbacks? Talking about... Yeah, so it's tough being a rookie quarterback. You're getting thrown into the fire. Ironically, of all the guys that we talk about, there's one guy on a team with a winning record right now, and it's Justin Fields. And he had a tough start to it against Cleveland, right? So he's actually now with the new play caller and Bill Lazor, they're running the ball a heck of a lot more. I think they called a run 39 times last week. He's actually the guy by the end of the season could be in the best situation. I think Mac Jones is another guy that they're protecting him. They're playing better football. If you protect Mac Jones, I believe, like if this was 7-on-7, I would take Mac Jones as probably my guy. But it's not 7-on-7, it's 11-on-11. And so, you got guys like Justin Fields or other guys that can move a little bit that can kind of maybe rescue you from bad pass pro. But I would say Mac Jones, Justin Fields for this year, having success this year, those would probably be the two guys that I would say could be relevant later in the year. Otherwise, I'm just kind of looking at it like a redshirt year for the other rookie quarterbacks. And it's just like, hey, take your lumps now. These will be learning lessons that hopefully in a year.
How can fans comprehend that? Because it's so real. Like Trey Lance might not be an MVP quarterback right now. I mean, look what Josh Allen was like 4 years ago. And I think there was Bills Mafia is a loyal bunch. I don't think they ever said anything, but I think there were some questions like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then you have success. You just have to kind of eat it in the moment as a fan and as a player and as a coach. You just have to know in the organization, like, hey, we're probably going to catch some shit here for a little bit.
Well, they call it growing pains. You hear coaches like, oh, we're going to have growing pains. Like that's just part of it. I think like the tough thing for a guy like Trey Lance, he's 21 years old. He's played one game since he turned 20, and that was against Central Arkansas. So this isn't necessarily a guy like, like maybe like a Trevor Lawrence who was a 4-year starter, I believe, in high school, started for 4 years at Clemson, has played in big games. He's been on the national stage for essentially like 7 years. Like some of these guys don't come in with that same level of experience. And Trey Lance is a guy, to me, he's a project. Like he would benefit from Jimmy Garoppolo being healthy and him getting like a little bit of a redshirt year. Hey, we're going to use you in short yardage. We're going to use you in the red zone. We're going to give you, we're going to give you like, we're not going to give you more than you can chew, basically. I don't want to say training wheels because when he's in there, he's doing real football.
Quick question about that. I don't know how much you know Lynch or Shanahan. I don't know if you are connected. I assume you are because you're around the NFL forever, and I think Lynch and you maybe, I don't know, whatever the case. Would you jeopardize 3 future first-round picks to get to number 3 or whatever to get a guy that is a project? Like, do you think, like Shanahan, the way he, he's number 2 quarterback for a reason, and like the things he has said, it's not like, and I don't know how I don't know him as a person. I've only seen him go from one rooftop to another rooftop at a beach house. He seems like he has a good time from what it sounds like. But do you think that Trey Lance won them over through that workout, or do you think they went and got and said, hey, this guy is going to be a guy that we'll be able to create into something great?
I think analytics are playing a big role in football right now. And I think sometimes it's a copycat league a little bit. But I think probably what's happening with some teams is they're looking at who Super Bowl champion teams are and what's a common denominator between Super Bowl champions. And I think a common denominator has been elite, high-level quarterback play. There's a handful of guys in the world that go win you a Super Bowl. And so I think there's some teams that are saying, hey, we don't really care what the cost is. We are going to do whatever we can do to get you one of those handful of guys that can go be a Super Bowl winner. And, right or wrong, I think that's a philosophy that you're seeing some teams take. And so people are giving up a lot to get one guy at the position. As you know, it is a team sport. It is a team sport, and quarterbacks get way too much attention. But I also think that's probably why you see the big monster deals go down on draft day, just trying to get one of those elite guys.
Okay, so it's like Carolina is one of those teams. I mean, imagine if Teddy, and we don't know what the Broncos are, I guess. They beat 3 bad teams early, and then who knows how this whole thing's going to pan out for any team, let alone the Broncos. Teddy didn't have Christian McCaffrey when he was there, right? And they pay him, and I guess it was only $20 million or $25 million. He didn't have Christian McCaffrey. It was Matt Rule's first year in the NFL, and they were like, nah, not good enough. Get him out of here. All right, Sam Darnold. We'll bring in. And if Sam Darnold's not good enough, by the way, even if they picked up his 5th-year option, get him out. It seems like they are trying to do exactly what you're talking about. It seems like
You hit the nail on the head, Pat. That is a great example. It's probably the perfect example of a team that I believe will be in every single quarterback conversation from here forward, as a team that says, as their owner, I believe, has said, hey, we are looking for the best of the best at the quarterback position. Sam Darnold will have a chance to be that, and he's shown promise. But if he plays like he played last week, which is kind of how he played when he was with the Jets, he's not going to be the guy. Just like you said, it'll be the next guy, and they'll constantly be looking around for who that is.
Hey, by the way, we have Carson Wentz this year. We had Phil Rivers the year before that. You know what I mean? So I don't know if Jim Irsay's this guy, but if you're a fan, I think you enjoy that type of owner. Like, hey, let's keep it going. It's like fantasy football almost. Who can we redraft this entire thing? Ty, balls to you.
Mr. Hasbeck, great to see you first
good
and
balls
foremost.
to you,
And thank you. Going back to Russell Wilson in Seattle, we heard all the stuff offseason with him and Pete Carroll, him trying to get out of there, and then everything kind of just got better overnight. Season started. He gets hurt. If they kind of go into like a tailspin here, do you think that kind of plants the seeds that he might be out of Seattle come next year?
Yeah, that was a storyline, and then we just kind of forgot about it when Aaron Rodgers became a storyline, right? And, I think sometimes through unhappiness or conversations, you come together. And I think you've seen that team, Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, come together. He got the offensive coordinator that allegedly that he wanted, Shane Waldron, who was running that Sean McVay offense. It seems like everything is good in paradise there in Seattle. I would expect a kind of a good ending to this story. That's kind of how I see it.
Nice.
To me, the biggest issue there right now is they're just not affecting the passer. So the back 7, the DBs and the linebackers don't look anywhere near as good as they should look because Seattle's not getting a pass rush. Offensively, Russell Wilson's numbers are really good. Offensively, Russell Wilson and company, they're doing a decent job, and they've done it without Chris Carson for a good part of the year. So I think Russell Wilson will come back. The big thing right now is Geno Smith just has to find a way to get 3 wins or 2 out of 3 wins here in the next month.
If Geno Smith plays anything like he did at the end of that game, after learning behind, Russ for 4 years now at this point? 5? How long has it been? Maybe 3 years? It's been a long.
So Geno might be even on his 4th team right now. He's bounced around a little bit, and so hopefully he brings that calming veteran presence. A lot of times when you have your backup quarterback in, you got guys jumping off sides, you're taking sacks in field goal range, and now you're punting. Nothing against punting, but you know what I mean. You're hoping to kick field goals when you're in field goal position.
I wasn't going to take any offense to that until you said I shouldn't take offense to that. Because it sounds like your brain was like, oh, that was definitely a shot. So, I mean, that's
You never know. You're a little sensitive sometimes. I got to be very careful. Eggshells.
Hey, listen, don't be talking about punters and kickers. All right, you've met us all. You know what we are. There's no reason for you to continue to push the narrative that your friends, the quarterbacks that get on TV and did before you. That's all I'm saying. Okay, what are you doing? Are you drinking some avocado water?
Whoa.
Just water, man. Just water.
Oh, okay, man. I'm drinking green tea. Drinking green tea here. Cheers to you, dude. Thanks for coming back on the show, man. Good to see you.
Always fun. Always fun. Cheers.
Cheers, dude.
Nice.
Go ahead, Connor.
That's cool. Oh, yeah, Matt. So what's going on with the Colts? Do they stink, or are they just kind of getting unlucky here? And quick follow-up. Have you been struck by lightning, or is Wikipedia lying to me?
Okay, first off, I have been struck by lightning. Now moving on to the Colts.
No. I didn't know that. When did this happen?
The Colts got like a tough call on that lateral. Like, was that really a lateral? Was that a forward pass, Darius Leonard?
The lightning,
so,
Matt.
Quick story on the lightning. I thought you guys maybe had heard it. Only been struck by lightning once. I think Wikipedia might say twice, but just once. I was at a wedding, and it's actually the guy who's now the head coach of the Washington Capitals, Peter Laviolette. It's his wedding.
Wow.
And he was marrying a girl that I grew up with. And yeah, we got like 16 of us got struck by lightning. We all survived. We all lived to tell about it. It definitely hurts, but it wasn't that big of a deal. We made it. And
what did you feel? What did you feel? What did it feel like? Just hot?
It feels like you got electrocuted. Like if you've ever gotten a shock.
Yeah.
It's like getting shocked, but times like a million. You know what I mean?
So like stem through your whole body.
Yeah, so like mine came like up my toes to my knees and then back out my toes. I was sitting in a chair. So, yeah, I don't recommend it. I was kind of hoping my hair would start growing back after this happened. Like I thought I'd get some supernatural power. Didn't happen though.
That's all. And then years later, something happened. Did you get struck again, or did it?
I don't think so. Like I think it came up on Wikipedia that I got struck twice, and I'm like, I feel like no, that's not true. So,
just fixed it.
Just once.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anytime, Mr. Hasselbeck.
Mr. Hasselbeck. Hey, we miss you over here, bud. Legit. The boys miss you.
I saw the Vinatieri's yesterday, and they're part of their college search. I saw Mrs. Vinatieri, and then the daughter. So
did you see
it reminded me of good times.
Did you see Adam?
I haven't seen him. No. Is he on the Pat McAfee workout?
I think he's on something. I think he's on the workout much larger. He is. He is, because he was always super strong. Remember, like he used to go into the gym and like, even whenever he was 40 plus, he was trying to keep up with the 25-year-old linebackers. Like that was something he took a lot of pride in. And I think once he's retired, he has just gone straight to the gym all day, every day. He is an animal right now. It's awesome to see. He could probably still kick if I had to guess. Go ahead, Tone.
Mr. Hasselbeck, you were a quarterback that played until you weren't old, but you were older. Okay, we'll put it that way.
You could say I was 40.
Okay,
That's all right.
Until you were 40. Like, did you know that Father Time was potentially like creeping up? And like, could you feel like velocity coming off your ball, or like not being able to move like you used to? Like, or do older quarterbacks in the league have to be told that?
I know where you're going with this.
Kind of talking about number 7 in Pittsburgh.
Listen, I don't. For me, it definitely wasn't throwing. It definitely wasn't that. It was taking hits. That was one thing that I was getting really. It seemed like hits that shouldn't hurt me were hurting me. Separating ribs on. I remember we were playing the Steelers on Monday Night Football. I took just like a medium hit and separated 2 ribs. Then I got hit in the head, at the top of the head by Cam Hayward, and like it was a big hit, but like literally I didn't know if I was gonna like be able to get to the sideline. It hurt so much. So like that was definitely coming on. But I think the biggest thing was in football they test how fast you can run. But I think when you get old, when you're 40, they should test how fast you can, they call it COD, change of direction, how fast you can change direction, or how fast you can, in my case, just stop. I'd be like running out of bounds, and like I'd be looking at the heated benches, and I'm like, I can't stop right now. There's no way to stop. So I would just like go to the ground and then fall awkwardly. And so, at 40 years old, things get a little tougher. But No, I really didn't know, and I kind of probably needed someone to tell me.
Okay, and that's because you had an incredible run, by the way. And whenever you made the decision in your career to be the backup to Andrew Luck was very noble. And in doing so, you led us to some very good times. I just got a text from Chuck Pagano. And he says, if Geno plays anything like Matt played in 2015 after Luck got hurt, that story will end well. 5-3 at 40 years old. Let's go.
Wow.
Hey, that run, I don't know if you knew it was going to be as long as it was when you came in there. I don't know if you knew it was going to be like a half a season, basically. That was awesome to watch you go to work, dude. It really was. It was really cool to see that. And you did so well for us. I don't know what the expectations were anywhere else, but you were a great leader for our team.
I wasn't expecting it, and it was bad timing for me because I had just gotten poisoned by a local Mexican fast food place, and I was in the hospital. First of all, I was like sick in the first game.
Oh, that was awesome.
And thought I got drugged, and then I was in the hospital. Then we had to play a Thursday night game. So, shout out to the medical staff there that helped me get on the field.
Hold on. We have to talk about this. You getting food poisoning from, I believe it was Chipotle.
Ooh.
I think it was Chipotle.
Oh, the big E. coli.
Yeah, he got it. He was in the hospital, I guess. And I did not know all this. I did not know he was in the hospital because he was showing up at work, too. I think he was overnight. I think whatever happened. I don't – maybe I knew of him being sick or whatever. I walked into the stadium, and there was a dead body on the floor in the middle of our locker room with a hoodie over his head, laying down completely. He'd been hooked up, I think, to IVs all day. And I'm like, who the fuck is that? I kick it. The hood comes down. What's up, buddy? It was Hassel. I'm like, that's our starting quarterback. Oh my word. You threw a go route to TY, I think, to win that game, right?
I think it was a slant and go, yeah. But the reason you were nervous is because I think you were the emergency quarterback that day if something went down. And I've never seen you get so nervous before.
Wake up, dude. Can we fucking put something in this guy? Matt, we appreciate you stopping by. Tonight, you got the Buccaneers and Eagles in Philadelphia. Your thoughts? Who do you think comes out on top, and what do you think by how many?
Yeah, listen, I think the Buccaneers are playing great football, and Philly is not anywhere near as talented of a team. It's the NFL, so it'll probably be a good game, but I like Buccaneers. I like the Buccaneers and their chances.
Hey, me too. We're really going out on a limb here. And I think if we were to be like your show, I think this particular office would have the same fucking logo right in front of it.
Well, Pat, we're talking about overs and unders now and talking about covering. We're getting with the times.
Are you really? You guys talk about spreads over there? I didn't know that. I thought it was
just a little bit. We dabble in it. We're not experts like you. We're not pros.
Nah,
but I would take. Listen, Philly won last week, but they only won because of a special teams sort of. I think it was a blocked punt. So if you take the blocked punt out of the situation, I think Carolina would have got that win. So it's more reason that I've got confidence in Tampa Bay.
Okay, me too. You said it. I listened, ladies and gentlemen. Sunday NFL Countdown host on ESPN, former quarterback and teammate, great man, Matt Hasselbeck. Thank you, Matt. Hey, cheers, dude. Cheers, dude. Cheers, dude.
Cheers,
dude.
cheers,
Hey, cheers, dude. Hey, cheers, dude. Hey, cheers, dude.
Mr. Hasselbeck.
Cheers, dude. Cheers, dude.
Hey, cheers. Wicked, dude. That was wicked, bruh. Cheers, dude.
Wicked awesome, bro. Wicked
All right.
awesome.
All right, we got to go to a break. Thank you, dude. You're the best. He's a good guy, man.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Hasselbeck back.
He was he was perfect for our locker room. He didn't tell Andrew to slide more.
Sure.
I assume he tried a couple times in his own way. Like, don't have to take that hit. Yeah. Don't have to do that. He was great. Everybody loved him and enjoyed him. And he would take a lot of pride in practice, how he was doing, because he was a starter for so long.
Yeah.
And then recognizing you're now the backup is a massive mental decision. I don't think people appreciate or respect that enough. Because if you think about the world that quarterbacks are brought up in, okay? Starting quarterbacks especially. NFL quarterbacks that have hit 3 contracts, played in the Super Bowl and stuff like that. They have been built up their entire life.
Oh, yeah.
And then they get asked to be a backup, and all of a sudden, they fall.
Yep. Big time.
And they have to accept it, appreciate it. They become like a coach. They become like a manager almost. You're basically another quarterback coach, another head coach, another offensive coordinator to a younger quarterback. You're passing the game along almost. And I got nothing but respect for Matt Hasselbeck. All right, we're back in 4 minutes with some phone calls on the 5 Energy phone line, 1-833-4-McAfee. We can't wait to chat with you on this beautiful, risk-free, same-game parlay, Thursday Night Football, Thursday. See you in 4.
Joe Burrow, yeah. I enjoyed watching him in college. He had a hell of a year the last year. I really enjoyed how much them winning allowed us to hear Coach O and his mastery of the English language. I enjoy his dialect and the way that he talks. It's pretty amazing. Hear him say, "Go Tigers!" So
Go Tigers! Yeah. Go Tigers! I said that on ESPN one time, and ESPN got a letter from the PR person asking why I was mocking the way he was speaking. He was like, "No, I was honoring the way that guy."
Paying homage.
Hey, go Tigers! Right there. There's a partner.
He's got quite the pronunciations. Even comparatively to a guy like yourself from Pittsburgh, you guys have a hard time talking sometimes. But I think I can understand Pittsburghese a lot better than Coach O most of the time. But all this to say, I'm a Joe Burrow fan. I enjoy the way he goes about his business. I enjoy the way he plays with confidence. I will tell you the thing that I told him, which I've told other quarterbacks from time to time: slide. Slide. I said you're too damn talented. You got so much in front of you to accomplish in this league. Just sometimes you got to slide. I would have said the same thing to Andrew. Andrew initially got hurt in Indy, being Superman and running guys over and stuff. Like, the only guy who I've told to slide who really didn't need to hear it and still doesn't is the guy that was playing last night, because he's so damn fast and talented and strong running the ball, man. You can keep running like that for a lot of years, Lamar. You don't need to slide. But everybody else, just slide every now and then.
We talk about, hey,
take on a bunch of guys.
Hey, University of Cincinnati, the Bearcats, dude. Oh, this is what they send probably to the NFL in Cincinnati. Let's go, dude. Let's go, bro. Full kit. Hey, we got a jacket in here? Sleeveless? No, short sleeve. Hey, thank you, Cincinnati. This is fucking awesome. Oh, yeah, look.
Oh, that's sick.
Hey, shout out Cincy, dude. Hey, let's go Bearcats, huh? Let's go win this whole thing. Nobody expects us to. Got in the Big 12 a couple years, obviously that'll be a different time, but right now we're in a Power 5 school. We're gonna fucking go just like we won in Notre Dame and beat the fuck out of Brian Kelly. That's sweet.
Oh, jeez.
I got stickers now, so literally I'm everywhere, says Mac Miller. Cincinnati's about to be everywhere, dude. All right. I went to one of his shows. He forced me into doing, he's wearing football pants.
I think Mark
had actual knee pads. Does he have a fake face on?
Yeah, he has a fake face on. That is not Chris Angel. That or he's been eating McDonald's with Mark Davis for the last 5 years.
I just want to let everybody know.
Straight to his face.
I just want to let everybody know this is NFL related. Okay? We have to talk about it.
Yes. We have to cover it. Why is his penis a different color?
He's wearing football pants.
Tony. That's a...
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show here on this beautiful risk-free same-game parlay Thursday Night Football Thursday, which is one of our favorite days.
Oh, yeah. It's up top 7.
I mean, it is. It's right up there. And whenever you start talking about days, when you start thinking about a potential risk-free $10 bet that in conjunction not only will make you, 90 some bucks, I think, whenever it gets up there. It's getting posted right now. I think is it up there already? It's already up there. Okay, we are off and running.
Here we go.
The odds are changing a little bit. It started at plus 1,000 something. The more people that bet it, I think it also bet the lines could potentially change some things. But I am excited to announce the risk-free same-game parlay for this Thursday Night Football matchup. And I know the same-game parlay hasn't been hot. All right, we actually haven't won yet. It is risk-free, and there was like over $8.5 million potentially about to be won from FanDuel last week. We've had a couple injuries happen. We were 1 touchdown away from somebody that always scores touchdowns. It feels like this is the week that our risk-free same-game parlay, Thursday Night Football, Thursday bet will hit for all of us. And although my Super Boost might have lost in hockey because hockey turned into soccer for the first period the other night between the Penguins and Tampa Bay, like that thing ended 6-2.
I know.
A lot of.
Only one period, that's all.
It was the only one that mattered for the Super Boost, but the hockey Super Boost is cold. The football Super Boost is hot.
Yeah.
I've won the last couple weeks in picking. I said we get a little bit more comfortable, like week 5, week 6, literally at the beginning of the season. You can go back and check it. I feel good about this one.
Here we go.
Tonight we take all the motherfucking money from FanDuel. Tonight we watch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get a win. Tampa Bay money line. How you doing? Keep it moving. That feels good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette, anytime touchdown scorer, he's catching the ball out of the backfield and screens. He's running, and people are saying he's looking like he's in better shape than he's ever been and running harder than he's ever run. Let's assume he's going to get in the end zone at least once tonight.
Now we go.
Jalen Hurts going to run for over 40 yards because he's going to be running for his life with the way that defense is going to fly around.
Big time.
And he is their running back.
And he has rushed for over 40 yards basically every single game he has played except for 2 of them. So this seems like an easy one. Tom Brady over 1.5 rush yards. Now, this is one that we can never be certain of. But primetime game, Thursday night, Tom Brady has loved showcasing his athleticism at this late stage of his career. A lot of points. Not that he didn't celebrate before. Remember, he became a 1,000-yard rusher in the NFL, and he made a massive deal of it because he is the quarterback sneak king of all time. Now he's moving. Talk about naked boots they're putting him on, getting him out there. He has no knee brace on. Let's assume he's going to fall for 2 yards.
Yeah. I like that.
That's 6 feet. He's taller than what he needs to get.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's just assume it's going to happen. That is one I'm not 100% sure for. But the last one, Antonio Brown, over 40-plus yards, fucking lock it up. Tom Brady was just talking about him on Monday, about how incredibly intelligent he is. Last week, they just started finding the connection. I mean, that is just, his actual over-under, I think, is like 60-something. Took an alternative over-under at 40. Just feel like we're getting 20-some yards on the sports book. And also, that one's going to hit. This thing is at plus 900-something right now. $10 bet wins you 90-something. This is the one. This is the night that we get to dance on FanDuel.
Yes.
This is the night where we get a risk-free same-game parlay that smashes the bank account of FanDuel Sportsbook.
Here we go.
I feel good about it.
So do I. Love it. I think, like you said with the Brady, like I can already see 4th and 4, 5 wide, Brady
Up the middle.
QB draw for fucking 16 yards up the gut.
Let's go. He's going to look like RG3 when he was striding out in Pittsburgh on Wednesday afternoon football.
Yeah.
And he did post on his IG story of him running down the sideline saying, hey, the coaches need to put in a few more read option plays, I think, now.
Prime time, too. He knows that the highlight of him running is awesome regardless.
Yep.
Over 1.5. That's the only one I'm really, like, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see, because there was a couple shots of him last week against the Dolphins, and we must remember it is the Dolphins, the same Dolphins that their fan base attacked me for saying they might come in 3rd place in the AFC East division. So much so they ended up putting me on a cuck mountain. So tried to bury my entire existence because I accidentally said, "Oh, they have the odds to end up in 2nd in the AFC East." I don't see that after $150 million just sent in pay. I got murdered for questioning that by Dolphins fans. And now the Dolphins might be able to come back. Tua might be able to play. They might become great. But there was moments in last week's game where Tom Brady was literally, I think I took it out there. That's on me. Tom Brady was literally just sitting, Tom Brady was just sitting there, standing there. Literally just standing there like this. So I'm a little bit worried, maybe Philadelphia's defensive line, who is stout in the middle, but will they be able to get enough pressure to get him to potentially have to want to run? That's the only thing I'm worried. Other than that, we're fucking gravy, baby. Yeah. Let's take this cashola in a risk-free same-game parlay tonight on FanDuel.
Bucks O-line stout in the middle, too. You got to remember, they got some guys up there.
Yeah. Think about tomorrow's show.
Ooh.
If this hits.
Diesel.
Oh, my God.
Victory parade.
Yeah.
Huh?
Victory parade.
Oh, my God. I'll be running laps. I will be so excited. Like, that is the goal of the FanDuel being our exclusive partner. It's like, hey, our exclusive sports book. It's like, hey, we are trying to take all your money from you.
Yeah.
that's the difference between them owning us and us, like, kind of, working in there. Is I legitimately would like to take all of their money for our people. I get attacked for some of my bets losing, okay? Like, for instance, the Penguins Lightning over in the first period, 2 goals or whatever.
Yep.
Like, I wanted to win that.
Yes. Big time.
People say, oh, you set us up to lose money or whatever, FanDuel. That is not the case. I want nothing more than tomorrow for us to walk onto air, talk on the microphones that we took $10 million from FanDuel.
Yes.
Let's do it. Do your jobs out there, guys.
Hell yeah.
See you in hour 2 with AJ Hawk. 0-0. Make it 2-0. Make it. Nice. 1-0. Oh, 2-1. Oh, here we go. This. 4. Oh, wow. That's good ball. That's good you ball. All right, top 10. Top 4-2. Woo! Oh no! 6-3 ball. Yes, let's go! Let's go, dude! 8-3. Whoa! Hey, let's play a quick game. You guys got it. You got to play a speed round, dude. Okay. Oh. Oh, no. Stay quick, ball cap. You give me a chance. Oh, geez. Oh, what? Hey, it's hard to make a shot. It's hard. All right. Again, boys. Again. First time in history. That's the first time.
We're still tired.
Oh. Oh, we got team.
Oh, it's 12?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, boys.
So the Young Bucks said, hey, can we speed the game up a little bit when we yell out the score? I mean, I think ended before it even started. We didn't even get through a full inning. No. You have got to experience so many things, both as a businessman off the field and on the field. Is there a moment when I ask this question that pops your mind, like, what's the craziest shit you've ever seen in your entire life? Because there was a time there where it felt like you were just getting dropped into insane situations and the world was like watching you do things. Man vs. Wild, you and that Bear Grylls guy, fucking electric. That was maybe the most electric shit I've ever seen. Is there anything that you think of whenever you think, like, what's the most ridiculous thing you've been a part of?
Probably some of the most ridiculous shit I ever been a part of was, I had got the restaurant which I'm in right now, and when we first got it, I would come in here and I would, clean up and go outside in the front, sweep up, make sure everything looked nice and shit. And one morning I got up here and I noticed, damn, this is a funky ass smell. And I looked, to the side of my front door, and it's a big ass pile of shit. And I'm talking about human shit.
Yeah,
and it's right on the side of the door. So I was like, somebody done came and popped the shit right in front of the door. Like, oh, this shit is crazy. Like, I can't be in here serving food. Motherfucker come walk in and they smelling straight ass cheeks when they come in there. Like, I don't think that's the restaurant I need to eat in. So, man, I get the water hose and I'm hosing it down. And, I see, we got a couple those things that usually walk back up in front. Hey man, did you do this? Like, oh no. So, one of them owned up to it. I said, look, man, check it out. So you don't do this no more. Look, you come by here, we get you we get you a broom and you help us, we help you. You feel me? And we put together a little I put a proposition together for him, and I ain't cleaning up shit no more.
It's a win-win. It's a win for everybody on that one. Hey, one of your former teammates. Yeah, hey, everybody wins. You're helping the people, man. That's awesome. That's why people love you. But hey,
one of them owned up to it. Just a line of questioning. The line of questioning.
His name was Willie owned up to. Matter of fact, he just left out. He saying sweeping up. He like, hey, what's up? Oh boy, I've been looking for you. You feel? Okay. Yeah, we bust down together up in the front of the restaurant to get it all cleaned up and everything.
Hey, you're helping people. Hey, Willie went from shitting outside to working inside. Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go, Willie. Let's go.
Give it up for my boy Willie, man.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 2 beginning here on this beautiful risk-free same-game parlay Thursday Night Football, Thursday, October 14th, 2021 years after zero, with A.J. Hawk will begin now. I just mentioned him, ladies and gentlemen, college football champion, Super Bowl champion, and now Ryder Cup champion can be added to his resume. Ohio State Buckeye legend, Columbus hero, dad of 10.
I'm here.
Strongest.
Are you stalling?
A.J. Hawk.
Usually you're stolen if someone's not ready. I was ready. I could hear you.
I do appreciate the heads up, and normally it would just be Zito going, ha. He gave me one of these one time. I think Zito gave me one of these, and Foxy gave me one of these, which I didn't know exactly what that meant, but I think it was like kind of coming in and out, and Zito was handling something, and it's a wild scene back there. They're incredibly professional, as are you. Thank you for joining us. The reason why I was doing that is because I said hour 2 with A.J. Hawk before the thing, so I was trying to separate your name from it becoming too redundant. I kind of fucked up there. So that's what I was trying to do, and I was going to bring forth more facts about you that maybe we hadn't talked about. Like, for instance, this man's face is the most powerful face in the history of faces.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
If he was to be a fighter, he would use his face to beat up other people's hands, and then he would win fights. He played how many years in the NFL?
11.
11 years in the NFL, used his head and face as a weapon on every single tackle, has 0 documented concussions, and we know the history of the NFL and using your head and concussions. Think about that. We are talking to a modern miracle, ladies and gentlemen. Home plate face, A.J. Hawk.
It's good. The home plate I haven't heard in a while. Shovel for a while. What made you do that today and try to highlight my skull?
Well, what I was saying was that's what I was going to do before you gave the I'm here thing, is I was going to try to separate your name because I fucked it up early with another, you know what I mean? Because I just thought, I just said this guy's name. I have to get us away from it a little bit so then I can bring it back. That's on me. I apologize. But all those things are true and should be talked about more often, especially when Connor says very, very rude things to you.
No, that's not true. I don't say anything rude. Say anything that is valid. Like, for instance, the toxicity he's been bringing. My own mother said, hey, tell that A.J. Hawk guy to shut the hell up, okay?
Wow. What's that all about,
Swear
AJ?
to God.
The Toxic Cable's mom is saying, like, is AJ okay? What's the deal over there?
That's real.
Is everything all right?
I don't know. I mean, tell her that if she needs me to back off, I can. But then I guess my mom, I'm sure, will reach out to me and say, hey, will you please ask Connor to treat you nicer? This is so rude what he's doing to you.
Except that's false. What I said actually happened. We were talking about self-love, and you were talking about Big Ben bopping himself.
I'm sorry, it's a sports show, football show. Always trying to bring it back to football. You know that. Sorry, guys, I'm a pro.
Bullshit.
Say sorry to his boss.
Yes. Now.
Hey, sorry, Mrs. Boston Connor. I'm a fucking pro, dude.
Yeah.
I appreciate and respect that. Honestly, I do.
Hey, also, real quick, before you get off that, Connor is not the most lethal. He was pointing out to me from people on the internet when Diggs said, I hope you blow up, when I was speaking about the gas situation yesterday. So, Diggs, I appreciate that. Was a good, funny line.
Okay, well, I'm happy we're keeping score. That is.
I don't remember saying that.
He also confused Chris Angel for David Blaine yesterday in a pretty disrespectful fashion of Magic. I mean, Diggs had one yesterday. Diggs hit for the full cycle yesterday. Hey, oh boy, Tom.
Hey, let's go, Tony. Baseball.
I did not hear him saying and wishing upon you a blow-up experience at the gas station, but have you had any blowback by anybody in your life telling you that you're a stooge for doing what you do when you leave your car on and actually promote against people turning their car off at gas stations while fueling up gas? Has anybody said to you, like, hey, well, I get that you do it, but maybe this isn't something you should promote? I was always under the understanding.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The way I understood it,
there it is.
is that if you leave your car on and that thing's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
What have you seen things or heard things that are vastly different? Has anybody joined your side in this thing since yesterday you made this announcement and proclamation?
Well, first off, like my two eyes that I have, I've never watched anybody blow up at the gas station. I've seen videos online. Yes, true. I have not had any situations where I came close to blowing up my car or myself. And believe me, I have spilled a lot of gas trying to fill 5-gallon containers for my motor. So, and my car is always running. So, no, and I am not promoting this for anybody else. I don't want anyone else to do this. I want you to do whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you feel you should do. So I'm not promoting anything of what I say.
You know, how come, so when you put that thing in, right, and then you latch that thing, okay? You know that you can unlatch that thing. You just got to do like the little under thing, and then when you move it to something, you can tap that, and then move it to your little 5-gallon tank, and then guess what? Maybe hold it that time. Don't lock it in, and then you can shake that too, and then you can open it, and then guess what? You can do this. You can go to this other one, and you can do it however many fucking things you want. By the way, are you just
pulling it straight out of the gas tank?
How are you spilling gas all over the place? What is your problem at gas stations?
You have to have a lot of patience, and I need good lighting, because when you're filling a 5-gallon container, sometimes you can look at the gauge and say, oh, it's almost 5. A lot of times, you kind of ease the old deal out of the 5-gallon container, and sometimes you come about an inch too far, and guess what? You're spraying gas on the whole place, and that's happened a few times.
In fairness, it's tough to pump gasoline with lobster fingers.
Yeah, that's the problem, because right where that latch is probably where that's probably, so his fingers actually
working against
your pinky.
And Pat, you told me I have to worry about razor blades and human poop smeared under there, so I got a lot going on that I'm fighting through, and I still have found a way.
Well, you told me about the human poop. I told you about the razor blades, but I'm happy we have that conversation.
Doesn't the gas stop, though, once it hits the gas, like the nozzle?
Yeah, anytime there's any pressure back, I believe, it turns off automatically.
One time I put the clamp on there and I let it go, and it did not stop.
That happened to me once,
It poured
too.
all over the gas.
What year was that? We're not anywhere near 2021.
No. Yeah, that happened to me.
Where? Over here at this place?
No. It was an Ohio gas station.
If it was going to happen anywhere, it would be over here.
Well, or Ohio.
Yeah, true.
All right, that makes a lot more sense now. I apologize. I didn't know you guys had to. In New Jersey, they still have that rule you can't pump your own gas.
Yep,
It's awesome. Hilarious.
Wait,
Diggs
why?
loves it. Exactly. You can't just pull up and then somebody comes and then you pay them and they do the whole thing for you.
Old school, yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to turn your car off. It is legal. They can't turn your
I
car
wouldn't
off.
Have to.
Yeah, well, they arrest you.
You said you wouldn't?
It's a good thing I don't live in Jersey. I mean, I wouldn't want to have to do that. But if they're pumping my gas, yeah, I would do it out of courtesy for that person.
That's very nice of you. Why would you turn it off out of courtesy? Just in case it blows up in their fucking face?
No, I know it wouldn't blow up ever. It wouldn't have a chance of blowing up. The year is 2021. It's not 1907, and we're cranking our cars, so we don't have any issues.
What?
You're the best.
Fucking T-Mobile.
You are the best
It's
human
a good
on earth.
football show, huh?
Well, you're the all-time leading tackler for the Packers. So, we are having a conversation with a football guy, Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
True.
Had a lot of support, by the way. Had a lot of support for people on my side. A lot of farmers,
were.
different people. I refueled helicopters when I was in the military midair.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys comparing themselves to NASCAR drive. They do it in NASCAR. Why can't I do it? You're not a NASCAR driver, dude. You drive a Toyota.
Yeah, well, Toyota is in NASCAR. It's much different than the camera you see, but he also drives like a NASCAR driver too.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
Like a freak.
Do you guys do you grow up on go-karts over there? So you guys all think you're going to be in the fucking Daytona 500 driving 2 feet, fucking pit stop, keep the car on? What is the deal in Ohio? And by the way, you saying a lot of support. What is that, like 5 people tweeted you? And you just muted?
Just like when someone says, like, the whole world's out to get this person. Really? Or is it 12 people on Twitter?
Wow, that's a deeper conversation. And Bill Burr actually addressed that one time on, I forget what show. Maybe it was with Bill Maher. It's an old clip. Seems to be in like 420 or something like that. So it's, I don't know.
Real Sports?
No, it was with Bill Maher.
Real Time with Bill Maher.
Hey, same network though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're same network. They asked him about being canceled because he was canceled for something, and he said, where? And they said, like on the internet, he said, well, if you don't go on, you don't hear it. And that's a very funny thing to think about whenever you say, like, was it actually 12? Like, for instance, whenever you're, and this will tie it back to football. So, like, some coverage, I think, of the game and of sports change because, like, 150 people will tweet something. And whenever you're scrolling through 150 people, that can feel like a lot. I mean, that could be a lot of scrolls. That can be huge. But then whenever you see that the audience is like, oh, okay, it's 20 million or 17 million or something, it's a very, you know what I mean? You can shape your thoughts, I think, but it shouldn't completely change your direction. You should take it, but I don't know. And if it's of everybody in there, it's just the sample size potentially too small, which leads us to say, who'd they get the information from?
Yep.
Who does it benefit, and where are we headed? And that's the Schefter story in a nutshell. Another thing coming out of the Washington football team, A.J. Hawk, following obviously the Bruce Allen email investigation that happened while he was running it. It's obviously a new team now, same owner, new entire operation in the organization, headed by Jason Wright and Ron Rivera and everybody over there. And I think the Mrs. Owner, she's actually becoming more of a mouthpiece for the Snyders and the owners and everything like that. Just today,
She was forced to. He was forced to step away, and she was forced to run day-to-day operations.
Was that public, or you think that happened behind the scenes?
It's absolutely public. That it's part of it. Yeah, she is in there day-to-day, running day-to-day operations. He supposedly had to take a step back. I don't know how long. I'm sure he's still heavily involved.
Yeah, there was like 3 exposés that came out immediately, pretty quickly, where we learned a lot about that building. A lot of change happened, full turnover. Now there's even more lingering effects with the 650,000 email investigation that happened in that building. A lot of bad stuff, obviously. Gruden, Schefter. There's calls now for every email to be released because who knows what's in there. I don't think the NFL is going to do that. How's the NFL going to pick and choose who? That's a fascinating situation in and of itself. And today, the Washington football team announced that they will be retiring Sean Taylor's number this Sunday. There will never be another 21. On Sunday, we will officially retire Sean Taylor's number, Washington football team. And I think the internet, rightfully so, said that's fascinating that in the middle of the fire burning around you, it's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. Everything terrible is being said about the workplace environment. We've learned so much. All hell is breaking loose over there. The team just lost the game to the Saints. It's convenient that the most beloved player, maybe one of the most beloved players in the history of the league at this point, who was wrongly killed at his own house and was an absolute superstar on a trajectory to be a Hall of Famer and be a GOAT in a conversation folklore and play great football for a long time, who's beloved. We're going to retire his number this weekend, actually. Long overdue, probably. And it's not getting any prep or promotion leading up to it. Jim Irsay will announce months in advance. Robert Mathis is going in, brother, in November. October, Peyton's doing this. Other teams have done that type of thing. I think with how the world is for that team and them announcing this on a risk-free same-game parlay, Thursday Night Football Thursday, the game's on Sunday. I don't know if this is necessarily the best decision, but I think the outcome of this guy getting his number retired is incredible. So it's kind of a mixed reaction, I think, by everybody on the internet.
Well, I think it's well-deserved. Sean Taylor, we can all agree, unbelievable, absolute monster, highly respected by anyone that ever played with him, played against him, his coaches, teammates. Just seems like, it's fun to go back and watch clips of Sean Taylor and watch him absolutely annihilate people. Like, I know there's a big Pro Bowl, hit the punter, that whole situation, but just watch his game highlights. That guy, not only is he getting picks and getting to the house, but he is knocking people's skulls off. It's fun to watch.
He was like a Bob Sanders meets like...
He's big, tall, like taller than Bob, though, and just a headhunter.
I love that. And how do you feel about them retiring his number? Obviously good. Do you think like this deserves a little bit more celebration? In my
but this
eyes,
had to be planned in advance. This has to have been planned in the offseason because I'm sure his family's going to be there. All these people have to be there. The question is, should they have canceled it and pushed it back? Which, no, you don't want to do that. You want to get him in. But I don't think they didn't just throw this together 2 days ago.
Okay, so that's your thought. Your thought is that this is just
There's too much involved in all that to retire. Like, there's too much involved to do it week of.
Well, and I think that's what the entire internet's saying is like, hey, this is a lot to happen. And you guys are announcing this on a Thursday or a Wednesday night, whatever. Did they do it last night or this morning? I think it was this morning. To announce that
That's so weird. It's so weird.
That's what I'm saying, because like families, and I would assume that they're going to get a lot of videos and all these speakers. And if they would have announced it a couple weeks ago that it was going to happen, and then all this shit takes place, I think a lot of people go, okay, are we delaying it until a better time? Is there a better time? Should we potentially celebrate something that great came from this organization? Because all we're hearing about is absolutely terrible if you're the organization. I think just the rollout of the announcement is, pretty... And maybe they just thought we'll drop this out of nowhere. It'll be a cool thing, and they planned it for a long time. I'm not. They're gonna probably have to answer questions to that. If I had to guess, I'm sure DC reporters of the Washington football team won't ask those questions. I'm assuming that won't happen. But there's a lot that goes into a ceremony, everything that has to be. Unless they're just putting it together right now to say we
like an unveiling, they got to get everything that they're going to put in the stadium. Aren't they going to have number 21 and probably his name up in the stadium? Like, that's the whole process, all of it.
All of it. What's up, Ty?
Well, I was just going to say that. That is one way to look at it, but then I can't remember. It was on Twitter this morning. I can't remember if it was Rap Sheet or someone said that like no one has worn 21 in like 4 to 5 years, so it's kind of like de facto retired already. So it is surprising that they basically could have picked to do it whenever they wanted to, and it ends up being this weekend.
Yeah, who are they playing this weekend?
Could just be bad luck.
Football
could
team?
be.
Yeah,
Chiefs, I believe.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Why would you do it on Chiefs Day?
What? Yeah. Hey, you schedule homecomings for a reason. You schedule celebrations for a reason. Hey, let's have a joyous occasion. One of our greatest of all time is getting retired, and his family's here. And also, Patrick Mahomes is coming to town with Travis Kelce, and
coming off.
Maybe that's why. Maybe they're trying to make it hey, that not only is one of the greatest players of all time, who passed away far too soon. Also, Patrick Mahomes is coming to town. I mean, come on in.
They wanted to make sure the stadium's full, so they wanted to play one of the best teams, like with a lot of star power.
Well, especially if you plan on promoting it for 2 days.
Yeah,
that's
the most. That's very intriguing. Like, yeah, why? Why wouldn't you? I mean, I guess in the heart of all of this stuff with Gruden and Bruce Allen, you're not going to drop it right then. Are they just waiting? They thought they waited enough days. Like, okay, it's calm down.
Hey, and don't think that the Schefter shit doesn't make the Washington football organization look necessarily great as well. Now, obviously, the Gruden thing that's crossed into the real world in a big way. I mean, that is massive. But the Schefter situation, I think, around, and now granted, it might be the entire league operates that way, but I think a lot of people around the league are wondering, like, okay, so Washington was able to allegedly be able to tweak some things. They
can say Bruce Allen, though. Can't Washington claim, like, hey, he's not here anymore?
Yeah, and it's not even the same name, I think, because they're trying to create an entire new chapter, I think, and maybe that's why they're doing it. Like, hey, that last chapter wouldn't retire this number. We are trying to turn this thing over as best as we possibly can. Whole new staff working in the front office, in the building, in every department. Basically, it's brand new. Maybe that's what they're trying to do to prove that they're a new chapter, a new team. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, and that's why if they were going to do something to kind of like move the spotlight away from all that shit, it should have been like announcing the new team name and what they're going to be doing moving forward instead of like throwing together what seems to be a last second, we're going to retire Sean Taylor's number instead.
By the way, what if that's what Jason Wright says when they ask him? What if Jason Wright goes, you guys know that I have just a team name sitting in my back pocket. If I really wanted to just drop this out of nowhere as strictly a PR move because all hell seems to be breaking loose, I could just, boom, here's our new name. We don't even want to be associated with that anymore. Let's move on or whatever. So I guess you're 100% right. That is something he could do. Although this is a monumental thing, I think, amongst their fans and most NFL fans as well.
Yeah.
It's not as big as the team name, obviously, but this is, I mean, it's huge.
Massive.
It's absolutely huge. Team name is a rebrand and a whole, you could literally separate yourself from what was potentially putting you through the absolute fire. But retiring, I think it's a good move. I think we're all just very confused on how it's working out.
Well, to your point with Irsay, like we knew when Peyton was getting his number retired. Like I feel like that is like a drive for some fans to go to the game. Like, and I feel like that happens with most teams. Like if a big name is getting retired, like you know that months in advance, like a long time. Like they do make a big deal about it. So for them to just do it 3 days before the day of the game, like it makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. And maybe it's because maybe they're so focused on the internet. The internet is a place where if you give something 3 days promotion, that's huge. I mean, that is massive. If you do something 2 weeks in advance, you might as well. That didn't happen. Like that's two different events, basically. That's 2 years ago almost. If you do that, so that would make sense if it was something like a show or an internet thing or something like that. But for this, I feel like this is a spectacular.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would imagine this. We could ask Rappaport, but I would imagine this was nailed down. Like the date was nailed down back in the summer at some point. Okay, this is the game. This is when we're going to do this.
You would hope so. You would hope. Literally, you would hope so. And I assume that Jason Wright and everybody over there, who has seemingly made all the right steps in the midst of, I mean, the poop water was raining on their fans.
Yeah. Not so long ago.
Like the first week, he had to deal with that. I mean, there's a lot that they've had to do, and I feel like they are on. So this just seems out of step with what has been happening over there.
And like to AJ's point, if they were planning this a while ago, wouldn't they probably want this to be known for a while just because then the price of the tickets would have been more and they could make more money? Or
what if it comes out as old Danny Snyder's idea? Like, hey.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
We need something.
By the way, like it's going to come out 10 years from now. Oh, you remember that Sean Taylor thing that everybody mocked us for and said, hey, this would just put like we'll put some lipstick on the whole situation here and try to cover it up? Yeah, it was actually that guy's idea. Yeah.
Dan Snyder's a big poop water on you guy and call it rain. Okay.
Hey, don't piss down my back and call it rain. No.
Who pisses down somebody's back?
No, don't piss down my leg and tell me it's raining. Rich Rod, one of his best. Oh. What a rich. Don't piss down my leg and tell me it's raining. I won't, but I did try to make that kick. That guy's the best. Other things happening. Richie football, old football Rich, old Bisaccia, the interim head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Is that how you say it? How do you say his last name?
Bisaccia.
Okay.
What is this all about with your Italian hate?
I'm dude. Genuinely, I need to know because I see it spelled out. It doesn't in my brain. It doesn't compute that way.
It's a couple days in a row now, Hawk.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. Now it does.
He said. And remember the other day you said two Chuck Pagano super Paisan. You said this Paisan.
I was not confident in it because I don't think I've ever used that word before.
Paisan or Bisaccia?
Paisan. I think that was the first time in my life I've ever used it, so I was not confident in my delivery.
Oh, so we should have celebrated it as opposed to being like, hey, it sounds like you're taking quite a shot at a lot of people in this conversation.
No, it was the other way, actually. I was worried I was taking a shot, so I just kind of whispered it like a little baby.
Oh, okay. So you didn't mean to potentially offend all Paisans, like this particular Paisan. You didn't mean that. You just said, I don't know if I'm allowed to even say this word. Is that what it was, kind of halfway through
that's what happened in real time, yeah.
Never had any Italian friends, it seems.
Well, there's no Italians in Ohio.
I got plenty of Italian friends. I don't sit here and every time I see my Italian friends, I have to do all these old, like these cliche Italian things. We don't do that.
So you have no Italian
friends. I have more respect for it to do that.
Let's get some rigatone.
How's your mother?
How's your mother? Did they ask how's your mother?
Paisan. That came from a Cuban fella back there.
That's good. We're go.
Hell yeah.
Hey, how's your family?
Hey, Zito, do people really know your name?
What do you mean?
Know your real name?
Oh, yeah, all people.
We didn't.
I just learned his real name. It's amazing. I had no idea.
Yeah, for a long time, Phil was the only person that knew it in this building, too, because we had to pay him. You know what I mean? So we did a full search one time trying to learn about him, who he was, and everything like that. Couldn't figure out his...
We've had multiple people reach out from like his hometown and say he is full of shit about everything he tells you guys. His entire past.
He's a billionaire. People told us he's a billionaire.
He's a government plant.
Whoa.
I don't know if he is a billionaire or whatever he is. He's got to be the hardest working billionaire I've ever seen.
He owns like 30 high-rise apartment buildings in Chicago, I'm pretty sure.
I was standing here by Fidel.
Whoa.
No.
You don't want to be on the side of
Guppy's back there, man.
He's dead.
Oh, dude.
All right. Well, by the way, the Fidel Castro comment, although it was terrible to Gumpy, I believe the person that takes the biggest shot when he gets referenced is the man that you just questioned there in Zito. So
thanks, dude.
Yeah, you say, hey, Gumpy, you know. Why'd you become Zito in your life?
Literally someone came up to me in college and was like, you're Zito now. And I said, all right.
It's an incredible name.
Wow.
I took it.
Hey, that's good.
Nick.
That's good.
So what do you introduce yourself as?
That's good.
Friends call me Z.
That's good.
That's good.
What's that word you guys use?
Choose your words carefully.
Well,
What is it, though? What's the word?
There's a word right there.
Yeah.
Chuck's going to text me in 2 seconds. He's going to start making fun of you. He's going to call you guys. I don't want to say it.
Comp? Is that what it is?
That's not it.
Oh.
No, they're going to call you. They're going to call you guys walkers of the day.
Oh, wow.
Well,
What's that?
Well, that's not what that means either.
Yeah, well, actually, it means you don't have an Italian name, but you're Italian. You're called a day walker.
Oh!
Like that scumbag Papa John.
Bingo.
That would only apply to one person in that room that you're in right now.
You're talking to me?
Don't talk about AJ's
Hey,
friend.
I am currently a day walker, by the way.
You saying John Schnatter claims to be Italian?
Well, he is. He's a day walker. Yeah.
Sicilian.
He's your boy.
Old country.
I don't even know if I'm allowed to say. I'm Italian, by the way. I want to let everybody know. I spit into a thing and told me I was Italian. So I'm allowed to say everything that I've said my entire life to Italians and what I say right now.
Yeah, you're a little
and
bit.
Italians
You're a
need
little
to
bit Italian. There's also a lot of something else in your genetic makeup.
Well, I'd like to let
we
you
choose
Italians
to ignore.
I'd like to let you Italians know that you need to just relax a little bit with everything I've said in
All
the
I'm
past.
saying is like what you're doing now, what you do a lot of times. You're lucky you live in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yeah. All right. Couple people pop outside. Enough, huh? Enough with the. Anyways, Football Richie. Back to our favorite Italian in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
He gave a speech, a press conference for his, his introductory almost. Hey, here I am. I just got dropped in this situation. I've been waiting for this my entire life. Here we go. How you doing? And I saw 30 seconds. And I'm like, all right, it makes sense why people were telling me from within the building, like, this guy's a guy that people will rally behind. This is a guy who's ready to be a head coach. And after listening to him chat, I think it's a guy I'd love to drink a beer 10 with.
Yeah.
You think about when you got to this point now in your career.
Yeah, your parents come to mind. I mean, my dad was the head football coach of the New York Giants. He just never told anybody, And so I got 5 sisters. I got 4 kids, 5 grandkids. So to have an opportunity to be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, wow, right? So I guess really that's the only thing I'm going to get choked up about. Holy shit. So, I
This guy's
can't
the
say
man.
that. I can't say that. So
He's the man. Seems like we got a guy in there, like a relatable human in there. I absolutely love that guy.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him. I've heard the name. Obviously, I never played for him, but man, just seeing that's all I need to see right there.
Bingo.
I don't know if they're going to win, but I think he seems like an awesome dude.
Me too. I think the guys are going to want to play for him. This could become a bunker mentality-like situation. If this guy, who has been listed in the sports books as one of the favorites to become the overall head coach forever, takes advantage of this opportunity with the team that they have in a very difficult division, I'll be excited to see how it pans out, but I love that guy. Hey, that's a good paisan right there, huh? Ain't that right, AJ?
Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. I am very respectful of he and his family, whatever their roots may be.
Come on.
All right, we're back in 4 minutes with Ian Rappaport. I appreciate you doing that. That's very nice
I
of you.
just see humans, man. Sorry, you have to go into where everybody's from. Like, I just see a human right there.
Nameless, faceless.
Gray faceless opponents, right? Is that what Tomlin said?
Yeah, that's what Tomlin said, and I think Juju echoed those sentiments a couple times.
Thank you, Juju.
Thank you, Juju, for your service to the game of football. He's going through a season-ending injury, and he gave a speech last night, the Juju Foundation Luau, where they were raising money. He was previously planned. I don't think he understood or knew that he was potentially going to be in a situation when he chose to speak, which some people say, oh, he's giving a speech for a season-ending injury. I'm like, I think he's having an event to raise money for something probably great, if I had to guess. Very emotional, losing football. It's like the first time I think in his life he's had to maybe not have football or not know what the future looks like. Rehab is something that can change people when they're going through an injury. You're with yourself a lot in there too.
Well, I luckily was never on IR. You talk to guys that say like they feel so like all of a sudden you go on IR and your whole lifeline's cut off. Everybody you're used to interacting with, you may be in the facility rehabbing, but you're not in the meeting rooms every day, you're not at practice. You just feel left out. And I start to think of what that would be like in season. I think that'd be very difficult.
All right. I thought Chuck was going to text me the word I should use.
Yeah.
And say he told me, take it easy.
Oh, shit.
All right, we're back in 4 minutes. Ian Rappaport's on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Grazie, grazie.
I was told by Del Curry, Scottie Pippen struggles on a golf course, right?
Right.
I was told at that thing that I'm going against Scottie Pippen the next day, match play, heads up, one-on-one Scottie Pippen. So we decide, like, okay, we can probably have a couple drinks, stay at the casino a little bit longer than we should.
Representing the NFL out of the Shoeless Golf Club of America, Pat McAfee. His opponent, representing the NBA, Scottie Pippen.
You know what I mean? This guy's got 6 rings. Yeah. He's a fucking Hall of Famer. But today he's going to play against me. And then I start seeing Scottie hit some shots that are just like starting to come together. And I'm like, wait a fucking minute. I think I was lied to.
We were lied to yesterday. We were told Scottie Pippen was a terrible golfer. Bro, he's Scottie fucking Pippen.
Going in the back 9, I think I was down 1. Like, we were battling. But I started making putts. And Scottie Pippen went ahead and got real hot. I mean, real fucking hot. I was down 3 with 7 left. And I looked right in the camera. And I go,
So we're down 3 with like 7 holes left. Scottie Pippen's about to get this work.
Scottie Pippen from 190 yards out just fucking dunks it. Fucking boom, bang, and then walks up to the green, gets the ball, cameras on him, and he goes, Pippen ain't easy. Kidding me?
All right, down 4 with 6 left after Scottie Pippen just chips him from fucking 400 yards out.
I was fucking demoralized.
Pippen ain't easy.
By the way, best he's ever performed at golf, because I'm around, better teammate than Jordan.
Yep.
People forget. Oh, yeah, I told Del, I was like, Del, what the fuck you lying to me? He was like, well, I saw it yesterday. He was not great. And Greg Anthony told me, and I was like, Del, he buried me, Del Curry. He buried me. He was like, hey, Pippen ain't easy.
Yes, baby, it's time to celebrate.
Talking about a shotgun of beer after he had beat me. Obviously, I like teach him how to do it.
Yeah, put a hole in there. It might spread a little bit, so.
Leave
Yeah, so you're going to go here, and then you're going to open and flip up. Does that make sense? Congrats on winning the NBA a couple times, blah, 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 blah. And being an incredible golfer.
Thanks, Paul.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
Damn.
Okay,
That's the
Scottie.
best Bud Light I ever had.
Hey, there's no Scott King up here.
You right.
Every day is game day for these guys. It's showtime on the Pat McAfee Show.
Welcome back to that show. Obviously covering all of the things in the sports world from a dumbass's perspective. There's a lot of us in here A great group of humans talking into the microphones. Joining us right now, obviously, AJ Hawk from his attic that is souped up to the max. Hasn't had an internet issue in some time.
Yeah.
It has been fantastic. The Super Bowl champion, eyes got real big there, college football national champion and Ryder Cup champion, joins myself, Tone Diggs, the host of Hammer Down, the Toxic Table at Boston Connor and Nat Ty Schmidt, the boys in the back, and senior NFL insider at NFL.com and NFL Network, the weekly host of the weekly wrap-up with Rap Sheet and Friends, us being the friends, ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rappaport.
Yeah! What's up?
Hey, I have a question.
Sure.
You just got off TV a little bit ago?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that thing all the way up, and then when you come to us, it's like, yeah, let me kick back with the boys?
Yeah.
Do you do the one-handed unbutton, too? Do you do, like, the one...
I got
roll the sleeve.
I would say almost immediately when getting off TV, I will take this down and roll the sleeves. I constantly a sleeve roller. I'm one of the great sleeve rollers of all time. You don't have sleeves.
I don't have sleeves. I assume AJ potentially good sleeve roller as well. I'm not 100% sure. Do you one-hand that button or no? Do you one-hand that button or are you like...
Yeah. I had to think about it. I just do it so I one hand and then I do this and then to the center. So it looks like I just, left the trading floor.
I'm surprised by it. Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and it's just keep them on the ride, That's exactly what you look like. It is fascinating to hear that you're able to do that one-handed because a lot of people say you're not that athletic because of a video that resurfaced because we're on an anniversary of you getting hit with a ball and looking like you got hit with an actual bomb grenade from the Taliban. So have you ever played catch before? Have you ever been hit with a ball before? And what happened on that particular day on the sideline, Ian Rappaport?
All right. I actually have great hands. No, it's true. I have great hands.
I believe.
I grew up as a catcher in baseball. I got great, nice, soft hands, really fluid, good reflexes. Here's what happened there. I was doing an interview, or doing a hit on the sideline, and I didn't know it at the time, but I believe it was a punt from the Packers punter at the time. I can't remember who it was. They were practicing. I don't know if you know about this, but sometimes punters will try to practice kicking it sort of toward the sideline to make it harder to return. Yeah. No, they before the game they practiced that. So it actually hit the lights in front of me and then bounced back into my face. And it didn't. See, that's not a good look. Look how big my suit is. My suit is so big.
Very boxy. There's a lot of unathletic stuff in this particular video that I did not know existed until this morning, and it was a nice treat. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, it would have been better if I had caught it. I think tell you the main thing. So I get off air. I give my mic to my producer. I walk up to the press box, and I didn't know anything about TV at that point. I was very bad, and I call my wife. I'm like, hey, things are fine. Everything's fine. But something just happened, you're probably going to see it. And I told her, I got hit in the face with a football. And she's like, did you curse? I said, no. She's like, oh, okay. All right, you're good. And she's right.
No, she saw what you did, and she said, I wish you would have just said, fuck.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Is that what your wife said? I assume that is what she said, but it's awesome. You could, obviously, if you get hit out of nowhere, it would be a little bit startling. Your reaction, hilarious. Your suit, even more funny, but we're happy that you survived that and have continued to do incredible NFL coverage. Now, you're one of the only people that I can ask this question to, so I assume that you are prepared for this question and understand this. This Schefter situation with these emails where he sends it to Bruce Allen and says, do I need anything tweaked, changed, or anything like that? And in the insider game, we know you all have to have relationships with people who are making decisions. That's how you get inside information. In your eyes, do you have to draw a line on what you can do, what you can't do, what they have control? And is that a moving line? Does everybody have different lines in that world? And are those clearly defined across the board?
Well, what I try to do whenever I'm reporting something that's sensitive or important or, career changing, life changing, real stuff. We're not talking ankle sprains, but the important, hopefully important news that we report a lot of times on Sunday mornings, this coach may be fired, this quarterback may be benched, this player's going to have surgery. I will almost always, in every possible chance I get, pick up the phone, call the people involved, the agent for the people involved, the coach, the GM, the PR person, whoever needs to know, and give them a heads up for what I'm reporting. And you're right. I mean, we have We have relationships. Sometimes we have strong relationships. I think most people get it and know that like we are going to report stuff that is not good. Sometimes we are going to report stuff that they don't want. And it helps relationships if people know you have a job to do and they know that you're going to give them a heads up. And sometimes it's like, I need to tell my owner that something's coming. So like, can you wait 2 minutes? Like that will sometimes happen. So I try to pick up the phone, call these people, let them know everything that's happening, and kind of proceed from there.
And I know AJ probably has a question about this as well. This will be my last one. I saw a lot of other journalists judging Schefter hard, and obviously the world judging Schefter hard for this. In the insider community, how is that perceived? And do you guys all have a group text? And did you guys all say, oh, fuck this guy, you can't be doing this type of thing? This is how he gets more inside information than us?
We do not have a group text, although that would be certainly interesting. I'm going to have a group text with Garofalo and Pelissero all the time as we banter back and forth and whatever. But there's not like an all-insider group text, you know, where Glazer would be like, oh, man, just got a good lift in. Like, no, that doesn't really exist. But I will say this, like, he's very good. He's been doing this a long time. I have my job because of the job that he basically created. And sometimes he beats me on stories, which is very annoying.
Well, that's because he's letting people just write his entire article.
I'm
joking.
He's very good.
I know.
He's
I'm
very
joking. That was low. That was low. I shouldn't have done that at the particular time. But I appreciate hearing that from you and I appreciate you answering that, by the way, because as soon as I heard about it, I think my initial reaction was like, okay, I could see how people are like, whoa, 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 whoa. Especially in the middle of a CBA, you're allowing somebody to do this. And then I was wondering to myself, well, how do insiders get information? They have to have some sort of relationship with people of very powerful people. So I'm happy you answered that question. Thank you for that, Rap Sheet. I appreciate it. Go ahead, AJ.
Could you give an example of maybe something you would send to a GM or a coach in writing? I know the big issue was he sent the whole article. Like, what would be an example of something you actually do send them in writing?
I try to have most of my conversations on the phone. It's too much gets lost in translation with messages, right? So I would say I will almost always pick up the phone and read someone what I'm reporting. So an example, a coach is in trouble, and if they, lose the game, they may get fired. I would probably call up the GM or the owner or whoever is in charge and be like, here is what I'm going to say on Sunday. If it is, a contract situation, if a contract's done, it's done. But if it's not done, I will give a heads up and be like, here's the language I'm planning to use, and people will push back. They'll make arguments. Sometimes I will listen to their arguments. I will always listen, but sometimes I will change based on their arguments. Sometimes people have good points. It's always, they don't exist in a vacuum, right? And because we cover the same people over and over, you're going to have situations where you're going to report something bad about a team or a person or whatever one time, and then report something positive another time. And hopefully people understand, like, this is literally just part of it. So people are very, very sensitive about the language you use. And once I realized that, I made sure that I will literally read them like, here is going to be my tweet. Like, I will listen. I'll always listen. Here's what I'm planning to say.
You just looked at something that might have been like right here. What was that? You looked off the screen in the middle of that?
That's my text. So I have my text. People always are like, how many phones do you have? I only have one phone, but I have my text come up on my computer. Apparently there's a Washington football team statement or something that is coming out, but I haven't seen it.
President's brief, by the way. Jason Wright actually just tweeted.
What did he say?
He said, we wanted to do something long overdue by retiring players' numbers months ago. We planned for Bobby Mitchell and Sean Taylor to be the first two. Seeing reaction, I'm very sorry that the short notice does not properly reflect the impact that Sean had. President's brief to come is what he said. So we kind of talked about this earlier. There's a lot that goes into retiring of numbers. A lot, like travel and videos and testimonials and everything like that. For this to be announced now, AJ more so than I think he was much more open earlier, assumed that this was planned long ago, and it just so happened to happen this weekend, and they didn't roll it out in the way that you would expect, especially for something like this. But the internet was taking it as, oh, this is just them trying to get back in good graces with either their fan base or the NFL media as a whole. They're doing something great that is long overdue. It's just kind of an interesting situation over there right now. You know, Ian?
Not surprisingly, AJ is right. So good job.
Hey, boy, AJ.
Let's go,
Hey,
dude.
boy, AJ.
Yeah.
Hey, he pumps gas with his car on. Hey, boy, AJ.
Boy, Hawk.
Wait, hold on.
Drives
Is that bad?
both feet. Yeah, this guy, AJ.
Is that
Nut
bad?
job.
You hear him? I see you, Rappaport. You do it too, don't you?
Of course. I mean, now I would say among the things I get in trouble for in my household, it's pumping gas with the car, but I don't understand why I wouldn't be allowed to do that. It makes no sense.
All right. I'm done.
Anyway, so yes, this was.
Do you
something
drive
that
with
was-
both feet? Do you drive with both feet?
No, I'm not a lunatic, but the gas.
Okay, dude.
Okay. AJ's a liability over there. He's
One out of
blowing
two's
cars up and he's hitting the brakes at all the time.
Now hold on.
Sorry.
Do you drive with both feet because like you broke your foot at some point and had to learn with the other foot?
Man, you were very smart and perceptive, Ian. At one point, I couldn't move my right foot back and forth, but I've just adopted that for the rest of my life. That was probably 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
That's amazing.
It's not. It's a
Very
liability.
efficient. You should
reckless.
give it a shot. Give it a shot today, Ian. You can
It's
do it.
careless. It's reckless. Ian isn't driving for fucking 2 weeks. He's sitting in that room right there. That's all we ever see him. Back to the
I drive to soccer practice and flag football practice. Anyway, it was planned a long time ago.
I do get out of my
I know
house.
that for a fact. I don't understand why it wasn't announced till today because most teams, like when the Giants did this thing for Eli, same thing. They announced it like I think during the summer, and you kind of let people buy tickets, you let people come into town, you kind of let momentum build. I think the business side made the decision to release this today. I don't know why, but I do know it was planned a long time ago. It's also long overdue. I'm surprised it has not happened. That's honestly that was my thought. I saw it today. I'm like, they hadn't retired his number yet. It's kind of odd.
Go ahead, AJ.
So what do you think happens with this whole Raiders situation? Do these 650,000 emails, do they come out? Do they leak out what they want? Like, the NFL technically doesn't have to put them out, do they?
That's not a Raiders situation. It's Bruce Allen's situation. We should.
My bad.
Right.
Yeah, my bad.
Go ahead.
No, I know what you meant though. So I have some doubts on whether we'll ever see any of it, because almost always when someone gets their hands on sort of classified information, it only comes out when someone wants it to. I don't know why the John Gruden emails came out. I really don't. And I don't know who leaked it or how, if it was even leaked. I mean, it could have been also the reporters just simply doing great work and uncovering it. But I do know they were very bad, and it probably served the public good for those emails coming out. And if you have feelings like that, as John Gruden clearly did, I mean, those were his personal emails, yes, but personal feelings also, yes. You shouldn't be leading a team. You shouldn't be leading an organization. You shouldn't be standing up in front of a locker room and talking to the very players that you denigrate. So it probably served the public that they got out. I feel like.
How about the Schefter one then? How about the Schefter one? You think that's reporting as well, or are they picking and choosing? That's the interesting thing, because it's the NFL's investigation. How are they going to pick and choose what comes out? That is a fascinating situation.
I just don't know if that was part of other damning emails, so it just was sort of collateral, astray, as they say. But I don't know. I mean, I assume if there was something worse that we needed to know on the Washington football team, maybe this is naive, but I assume if we needed to know, if it would help the public, if it was important, it would already be out.
Yeah, a lot of people say that'd be incredible naive. I mean, but he works at the NFL Network. He's had nothing but great relationships. I mean, what would you want? What would you want Ian Rappaport to say there? Just before the boys have a question and we get into the night, we can't thank you enough for joining us. We'll wrap this up because I assume you got news to break immediately after this call ends. T.Y. Hilton. He is speaking candidly, says Zach Kiefer of The Athletic. He said he almost hung it up. He can't even lie. During this injury break and after the free agency, the offseason, getting a one-year deal, hurting his back, I believe. But he said leaning on Andrew Luck the past few months and also the Colts being off to a 1-4 start, he said he feels obligated to come back and he feels better than ever or something like that along those lines.
I I saw that he was talking to Andrew Luck. I was like, oh God, don't talk to Andrew Luck. Like that's.
Whoa, they're best
Well, I'm
friends.
just saying, like he retired. You don't want him to be like, hey, come on, like this is great. Like
nice.
If you're
You know,
T.Y. Hilton and you're looking for a friend to talk to, of course, Ian.
What's wrong with you?
Hell,
dude.
If you want to retire, don't do it. Don't fight. Don't talk to anybody. You know, you're crazy, man.
Here's what I will say though. Like
Crazy man.
No one will ever, and even me, like I've never been injured like that. No one will ever understand how horrible it is to be injured. And have you miss time, Pat, with injury?
No.
No, okay. AJ, I'm sure you did at some point, right? Yeah.
Yeah, barely. One game.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty. Wow.
I could have played. It was a cap.
Bro, he tore his bicep, his groin. He broke every finger on his hand, his pec, his shin, and his foot.
His upper body. You can play with anything upper body. Yeah, the one thing that took me down for a game was popped calf.
Jeez. Figure it out.
He can play with anything upper body. His kids have fucking no hope, dude.
No. That's amazing. You should make a poster of that.
You heard? No. It's fucking upper body, dude. Get your ass out there.
Put your helmet back on.
Ass out there. Your dad didn't miss a game. But yeah, I didn't know that was ever a thing because T.Y. is like the most joyful, upbeat, loves football. But once you have one of those injuries and you've already made enough money and you've probably experienced his family, he loves his family, his kids are growing up, you maybe have those thoughts. I'm excited he's back. Happy to hear that. Go ahead, Ty.
Ian, have you heard anything about the injury status of the Packers? Are they going to be missing 3 offensive linemen again on Sunday? And is Akeem Hicks going to be playing for the Bears? What have you heard coming out of that game?
All right, so the Akeem Hicks, I don't know that one. I think that I know. Sorry, he's a good player, but I don't know that one. I would say the Packers probably get 2 back. I think Jenkins hopefully comes back because I was originally told it was going to be a 1-week injury. Then obviously it's been a little longer, but he was at practice yesterday, at practice today, I believe. So, I think he's coming along well and hopefully will be okay because he's very good and they would need him. And then, what's crazy is Bakhtiari probably comes back hopefully week 7. And
wow, here we go.
That guy will also help.
I think so too. Anything tonight we need to keep an eye on, maybe for our bets or anything? Everybody up, everybody in. How's Sirianni feeling? What was the speech?
I would say everyone. It seems like everyone's playing. I think Brady's hand is going to be not. It's a thumb. It's a throwing thumb. So I think it's not nothing. But I would doubt that you're going to notice it. Like he's not going to be throwing like ducks out there. Like I think he'll be fine. I don't know. I would say, to me, it looks like the Bucks are rolling, and Gronk's not playing, but
Cameron Brate touchdown, anytime scorer.
Boom.
Think they're gonna run the ball a lot. Does that help?
Leonard Fournette, anytime touchdown scorer.
What?
Anything else?
No.
All right, we appreciate you, man. Good luck. Don't have any presidents of any teams be Mr. Editor nicknamed in your phone or anything like that. And good luck breaking the news. We appreciate the hell out of you, pal.
All right, guys. Always enjoy it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rappaport. That was a terrible spot to put him in.
Yep. He works for the NFL basically, and that's who is controlling all of this right now, and the emails and getting pressured. Are they going to pressure the sponsors? So yeah, he's in a weird spot.
We appreciate him joining us, obviously, every single time he does. But that was he handled that as well as you possibly
It's
could.
not him though. It would be a worse spot if it was him in the emails. Like if he was in Schefter's spot and he worked for the NFL Network.
Yeah, but then.
Would they release it?
Yeah, that's the whole.
Oh, against one of their own.
That's the whole thing. Like, who else is potentially?
Who's making the final decision? Is this
exactly.
Rodgers making the decision?
That's what we're saying. That's why when he said it might be very naive of me, but I feel like we would know if there's anything else. It's like I appreciate and respect you saying that, Ian, but I think everybody outside of you.
Or do you say these are the little crumbs they're throwing us to try to make people say, okay, cool, we don't need to see the rest of them.
There's just so many questions around all of it, and I don't know if those questions will ever be answered, and we'll probably just move along, and people will forget about it, and it won't be a big deal anyways.
100%.
That's what the NFL does, right? It's the
Week
biggest.
by
That's
week.
what everybody does, by the way, in any situation, let alone the biggest league in the entire world.
And then didn't they also? I think I saw it in the group text earlier this morning. There was I don't know if it was from the emails or like a leak or anything, but they're talking about the NFL trying to get Mark Davis out of town now with the Raiders.
Yeah, He's mad. Didn't he say talk to the league or whatever? He's upset.
Yeah, no.
Was it because the IRS thing?
No,
I
it's
think
just
it's the whole Gruden situation.
Yeah, the whole Gruden situation. He says I'm not going to comment on it anymore. It's like done with it. And
yeah, he said the NFL has all the answers. Ask them.
Yeah, he didn't do the press conference. Mayock did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what does that tell you? He's pissed.
And to your point about stuff being like just moved on a week after, like Urban Meyer, I feel like that's all damn near 2 months ago. at this
Yeah,
point.
Urban, I heard he was taking a trip back to the Chop House to celebrate.
Yeah, that's right. Smart.
I heard he was taking a trip back, finger guns in tow.
Won't be as bad as Gruden.
Boom, pound, pound. Rod, maybe a couple more emails, huh? How about it? Pow, pow, pow. 0-6, pow, pow.
At least we're not the Raiders.
At least we're not the Raiders.
I mean, that's what you need. Some other big time story to come out and take the attention off of whatever you have going on.
Yeah, but we're not going to forget.
Ever.
I don't think many people will.
But he won't either. Hopefully he'll learn how to address this head on and move on. I've made plenty of mistake, and then you just got to own it and move on.
Got to own it. That's it, 100%. The only chance is to own it.
He did not early. And I think that was maybe cause for why some shows that go daily did proceed to potentially, okay, so this guy doesn't get it still.
Yeah.
So I feel obligated to society to almost be like, hey, this is something that people are going to remember. We're trying to help him out, I think, not just us, but many shows. Like, hey, this is something people are going to remember and talk about. These are all the things that are potentially going to be said about you. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm at some point he has to sit there in his office and be like, how did I get here? How did I put myself in this situation right now?
Hey, Seth, you have one too many shots of tequila and whiskey.
Right.
And you head to the dance floor.
Right.
Then the old denim balloon knock gets appetizing.
Right.
All right. Hour 3's on the other side. All right.
Denim
We will talk.
balloon?
What's that? Chuck Pagano's joining us then, bud.
Whoa.
Yeah, we'll see you then. All right. Work throughout my entire life, whether it was driving me to practice, to go to work, the coaches that invested hours in me, everything I have done to get to this point. I got a whole town, a community, a family, a tribe of people watching me potentially live out my dreams that we all thought was going to happen. And when I get to Rock, I get a chance to carry 8 motherfuckers that are playing for a team that is in the city that I went to college in. I carry 8 people, have the biggest moment in my football career, maybe make a team, if not with the coach somewhere else. Hey, that guy's got juice, let's do it. Change the entire direction in the course of my family's life. I can't be excited though.
No.
Don't even think
Don't
about
you fucking dare.
Are you kidding me? All that just happened and everything I just said there and more is potentially happening in that one play? Don't even fucking think it. Get your fucking ass back in the huddle. You know Barry Sanders? Hey, Barry Sanders, he'd score a touchdown and he would just hand it to the ref and he was gone. Why don't I? Well, Barry Sanders also won the Heisman, right?
Yeah.
It was also like the all-time leading scorer in this whole thing. Barry Sanders was unbelievable, worked his ass off. Let's not get crazy. And Barry Sanders had the ability to act like he had been there before because Barry Sanders, by the way, had fucking been there before. And maybe Barry Sanders, the way he goes about business isn't how everybody goes about business. Maybe there's a lot of different stories, a lot of different situations, a lot of different life events that lead to somebody acting differently than somebody that just acted, almost robotic while being one of the most exciting and electric players in the history. Got nothing but love for Barry Sanders. Let's not get crazy. But there's a lot of people tweeting, act like you've been there before. It's like, you think this motherfucker's been there before?
He hasn't.
This dude just carried 8 people and maybe changed the entire life. He can't be excited. Aren't we a game of emotion? Aren't we a game of excitement? Why is this a fucking penalty? Hey, Goodell! Hey, eating your M&Ms, sitting on the chair, being cool. You became my commissioner. You weren't my commissioner when, hey, you dance, you're fucking out. Your sock slide, you're fucking out. We don't want anything. We want robots, no emotion. Everybody hated you then, Raj. All right, everybody hated you. And nobody understood why you're trying to take the fun out of the game. You're doing it because you want to be able to just pluck and play. You didn't want to have players be brand names because then you could replace them easily. Okay, I understand the business side of it, but we all agreed, the tribe has spoken, that the game's better when people are excited. Some things are too much. All right, some things are way too much. There were some dances that happened that looked a little bit more like basketball, where we're all like, there's no way that can happen with a full line dance. We get it. There was some. But it added to the game. The excitement added to everything. Now taking away this and making it a point of emphasis. And I'm not saying that there should be egregious, if something egregious happens, they should penalize them. Yes, please. It's not for the good of our game, not for the good of the league, not good for fans, not good for anybody. I understand that's going to happen, but a point of emphasis means, hey, we're cracking down on this because we don't want it to happen anymore. And why are we targeting that as opposed to targeting something else I'll never understand? My commissioner, Roger Goodell, is going to get to the bottom of this if Sam Ocho doesn't do it first.
Yeah.
Smarter than you, I'm better than you.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm a better person than you are.
No.
Yeah.
I fed the birds this morning, so I'm a better person than you are.
Yeah, but you don't care about, the ozone as much as I do. So do you even like to breathe? That means you don't even like the birds. You don't want the birds to be able to breathe or fly because you want the ozone to be ruined because you're a fucking asshole.
Is that right? Then how come I rollerblade to the supermarket every Saturday and Sunday?
Oh, did that make you feel good, rollerblading, flattening the earth a little bit closer to the center so it can get hotter so then the heat comes from the ozone because you're pressing down the earth with your little rollerblades?
Well, yeah, but
I'm a better person than you are.
No, because on Wednesdays I'm planting trees and I'm trying to bring the earth back to what it was.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you're cutting up other trees' roots, though. What a fucking
right.
asshole.
Wow.
You
No,
yeah. Why can't you just let earth be the way it's be? You got to take your shovel and dig into it? Wow. I'm a better person than you are.
I know. I make my own manure. I make my own soil. I'm not chopping up any other roots.
So you don't like cows. You don't like cows pooping.
I hate farmers.
Unbelievable. You hate farmers. Oh, you don't like the head of cows. You don't like burgers?
Then how come I'm in the Farmers Association of America and I'm going to help?
Oh, you're a lifetime member of the FFA. Hey,
that's right.
That's what I make. I'm a better person than you are.
No, you're not. I'm a better person than you are.
That's politics, baby. That's what we just did right there. Let's get to the phones. Once again, I think we batted 1,000.
Boom.
In politics with what we just did right there.
How about that?
I do believe after that argument, though, people would say I was a better person than fucking you are, dude.
No, because everyone I just read on Twitter was like, oh my God, this guy rollerblades. I need to start doing that too.
No, that's because you mute all the other people that are actually on my side. They're telling you you're not the right person.
No, I refuse to mute anybody because I love everybody.
Oh, you're like freedom of speech. How come then you're not going to listen to everybody?
Wow. I do love freedom of speech. That's why I'm not muting anybody.
I'm better than you are.
No, I'm better than you are.
Everybody's saying it.
No.
Yeah, everybody's saying I'm a better person than you are.
I heard it.
We just did, by the way, still batting 1,000 on politics. I feel so good about it. We even got into the reaction to the punditry.
Yes.
We're batting a fucking 1,000 out there.
Every side.
The people say we're not well-rounded. We don't have depth. Did you hear what we just fucking did?
Come on.
Wow. Let's go to the phones, man.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 3 on this incredible, risk-free, same-game parlay, Thursday Night Football. Thursday! We'll begin immediately following this beat drop from Twine. There it is. Here we go. AJ Hawk is sharing the screen with me at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. And I appreciate you listening on SiriusXM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Tone Diggs, the host of Hammer. Dahn is here. Boston Connor's here. Ty Schmidt's here. All the boys in the back. Hour 3, we'll see Chuck Pagano joining us. And not for Coach Us Up Chuck segment, but he said he has a couple good Sean Taylor stories. So whenever he was down coaching at the U, I guess Sean Taylor was a high school at the U, or in Miami, not at the U, in Miami. He said he played running back there. And he said it's a great draft day story. Cannot wait to hear that from Chuck, who will join us in about 27 minutes to talk about today's big subject, which was Sean Taylor finally getting his number retired, but it being announced on a Thursday for a game that's on a Sunday, and everybody on the internet, rightfully so, I think even Jason Wright has come out and admitted that this should have been maybe something that was announced a little bit bigger. The timing of it, especially after the email controversy that's going on with that particular organization, seems like it's a little bit of a PR move, even though there's no way it would be because of how much shit that would have to go into this type of celebration ceremony. We'll chat with Chuck Pagano. AJ, quick question, AJ.
Yep.
When you watch tonight's game, what do you think is going to happen in this Buccaneers-Eagles game?
I've gone back and forth. I really have. I think the Bucs are going to win, but I'm not sure. It's 6.5. Okay, I thought it was 7.5.
Nope.
6.5.
I changed it a little bit for me. I think the Bucs are going to win. When I heard about Tom's thumb, it made me worry a little bit. I don't know, man. I think Philly is sneaky, so I still have yet to make my decision.
Okay, but it sounds like you think the Bucs are going to win. It's just whether or not they're going to cover, which I was potentially having the same thoughts as I was taking my morning grumpy this morning while I was getting the words of advice from the boys around the office on what the same game parlay should look like tonight. What should be the risk-free bet that we put on FanDuel Sportsbook and hopefully take millions and millions of dollars from FanDuel Sportsbook. $8.5 million was almost lost by FanDuel last week. Before that, like 40-some thousand people were riding and tailing our risk-free same-game parlay. That would have been up over $10 million. Take it from FanDuel, and we are trying to do it again tonight. You have to opt in, obviously. Then you get a $10 risk-free same-game parlay, and the one that you should jump on is ours, the Tampa Bay money line. That's going to hit. AJ thinks it. I believe the Hammer Dahn boys think it. I think it. 6.5 might be too much. 7 might be too much for your fancy. Not for me, but the money line feels like this is a great bet. Because Bruce Arians said, we just got a bunch of fucking winners.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who knows how it's going to look? It's Thursday night. It's a short week. Even though Tom's injured thumb is happening, I think they're going to blow him out. But let's just keep it for the money line so we'll get more people to join in our venture of taking millions and millions from FanDuel Sportsbook. And then Leonard Fournette, anytime touchdown scorer. Okay. All right. They're starting to feed the big dog. People are starting to say, hey, this guy's starting to look like how he's supposed to look when he was coming out of LSU, looking like a 55-year-old man playing against a bunch of children down there. Leonard Fournette is eating. This isn't just playoff Lenny, Super Bowl Lenny. This is what I think Lenny is going to be going forward as an absolute stud who maybe had his soul drained a little bit while he was in Jacksonville. Second home Tampa obviously helping. Jalen Hurts will rush for over 40 yards, okay? He's done this in basically every game he's played except for 2. I think he's going to be running for his life, trying to make a play, much to the point, I forget who it was. Somebody made the point, maybe yesterday, when these young quarterbacks and their legacy is being born and people are judging them on whether or not they're the future quarterback, long-term quarterback. That is why you see players like Joey, I think Chuck Pagano said this, Joey Burrow and Carson Wentz, they're going to try to extend every play, try to make every play happen because it is riding on their shoulders what people are going to say about them, their team, their history. Jalen can run. He has run. Prime time. Let's assume he's not going to let any play just die or slide. I think Jalen is going to be running all over the place. It's a part of their offense, and I think Sirianni knows that. Plus, with that D-line, they're going to be chasing him all night. Tom Brady to run for over 1.5 yards. Now, this is one that I am. Hey, this was a little bit of an odds. This was an odds booster.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is one that I'm not, I'm not 100% sure about this one. This one.
I mean, he'll have at least one QB sneak, don't you think? On 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, Tom always falls forward and gets those.
I agree, and he's like 6'5" or whatever he is. So he literally falling down with the ball on his face is over 1.5 yards. Now, there's a couple kneels at the end of the game, a couple people have mentioned, but let's assume he's going to get loose. National television, he knows how hilarious it is to watch him run. I think he relishes in the moment of saying, hey, I still got it. I'm pliable. I don't wear knee braces anymore. And then Antonio Brown for over 40 yards. This seems like a no-brainer. They still have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Cameron Brayton, all those other weapons. Antonio Brown is not going to be able to get doubled or tripled like he potentially has been in the past whenever he's been on other teams. Now he's seeing single coverage and different routes. He is just going to continue to feast. I don't know when he will become the guy that they change their coverage towards. Rob Gronkowski isn't back. That would help him out a little bit more. But Antonio Brown's going to continue to eat. Tom Brady's been talking him up all week. Let's go ahead and get all this money from FanDuel, AJ Hawk.
I mean, when you look at it like that, it doesn't seem like an impossible thing to happen. All those things, if those players stay healthy, you would imagine there's a good chance it'll work.
Now, I will say that the same game parlay has had some trouble with injuries.
Yeah, it has.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to let everybody know that is not the same game parlay. That is just happenstance, coincidence. Yes. And there's no way that it happens again. I mean, this is something the universe is not saying, hey, because of the same game parlay, the most pivotal part of your same game parlay now must get hurt. No. It's actually the universe forgetting about the same game parlay, and they said, hey, we fucked you a couple weeks in a row. Now we're going to get you back. That's how we're looking at this risk-free same game parlay Thursday Night Football, Thursday night, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, you're due. Don't you think you're due to hit one of these finally?
Yeah. Well, the football super boosts are hot. I've had better weeks than you, back-to-back weeks. It's about time for the same game parlay to get going, I think, And I self-handicapped at the beginning of the season.
A little bit.
Beginning of the season, I said, hey, I don't know anything about any of these teams.
As you should.
Because it's a brand new season.
We didn't.
And I lost.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Had no idea.
I lost a lot of money.
Yeah, we all did.
It's tough.
A lot. There was $0.00 in my FanDuel account each Monday for the first month of the NFL season.
It was tough.
That is not good. That's not how you're looking to start your season. Gambling, living, anything like that. My picks were being displayed to the world with yeses and nos. While AJ was becoming the greatest prognosticator on earth, I looked like an absolute stooge. But I said, I don't know anything about. Now I feel like I know these teams.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I feel like I know the teams. And I feel like I'm about to really hit my groove, really hit my stride. And those that haven't been around a long time know that I do get hot. But when I get cold, you need to realize and recognize, hey, he is cold right now. I need to get off it. And although a lot of stats and figures might say that I'm currently cold, you're wrong. 2 Super Boosts back-to-back, no big deal. It's the best bet of the day.
No big deal. Yeah, I mean, I think you're due. I really do. And you took a shot at my record the last few weeks. You didn't have to. That's understandable. I'm accountable for my record the last couple weeks. I feel like this week might be better. Who knows? Did the boys hit on hockey last night?
I have no idea.
Even Steven.
What are we talking about?
Gumpy's muted. He said Capitals money
Capitals
line.
money line. Come on.
Change the topic, bro.
Pat, if it makes you feel better, Brady has rushed for more than 2 yards in 4 of the 5 games this season.
Bingo.
There we go.
He's moving.
go.
He's pliable. Alex Guerrero's around. Like, hey, let's remember we're trying to sell these books and shit. They got to remember you can still run.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody doesn't want to just, throw a football around their backyard. They want to be able to run and everything while he's doing it. He's like, hey, you got it. Let me go pick up a first down, get slaughtered, and do the old finger point thing. I'll do the old urban. All right, let's get to some phone calls, shall we? Here on this risk-free same-game parlay Thursday Night Football Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, let's fucking win that.
Here we go. Absolutely.
Here we go.
Tonight's the night.
Why not?
Tonight.
Why not make this same-game parlay, this risk-free same-game parlay on Thursday Night Football? Why not just make this a fucking wagon?
Hell yeah.
Boom.
You know what I mean? Why not just let this thing go and let this thing eat? We had like 40,000 people on one of them, and we were one leg away. If that one hits, which it should have. Which it should have. It should have hit. If that one hits, I think that thing is only go. We got to win one to really get this thing rolling so we can really start raking and taking all their money they're making over there at FanDuel. But tonight is the night that this thing gets started.
Hell yeah.
Can't get on a streak until you start, right? And tonight's the right.
I wish FanDuel was here in Ohio because I would absolutely jump in on that.
So I think it's coming, right?
It's around the corner.
I don't know. What's Gonzo say? He's on his way out, so I don't think he's going to help push it.
Wow.
Hey, I heard I saw something where someone said, hey, what about Gonzo for the next NFLPA head?
We saw that as well because NFLPA is just super politics, right? That's basically what it is. Just, I hate you, you're wrong, I'm a better person than you. No, I'm a better person than you. No, let's negotiate. No, let's not negotiate. Let's hate each other, not do anything. It sounds like politics to me, but I guess it has football involved. He seems like he would be the right fit in there. That would be the... that would be the mix.
The vote they had did keep Damari Smith as the NFLPA.
Yeah, but I think he's up after this one, he said, right? I think he said
this was going to be his last term. Now, there's no term limit, but he did say this would be his last term.
So there's just no vote, no other election?
Yeah,
they just pop up an election?
Depends on who he wants to call it.
Does Gonzo really want to do this? Why doesn't he just go open a restaurant or something? Do something that's not going to be super stressful.
Gonzo was in Silicon Valley doing stuff with startups.
There you go. Build an app, Gonzo. You don't need to fucking be doing this.
Somewhere else.
You got enough stress. You got enough on your plate.
Gonzo's life. And this is just like we talked about with Nate Burlson earlier with Hasselbeck, who was teammates with him. I couldn't even imagine going from what we do now, basically what he did, 4-hour morning show, a couple-hour morning show, and just going right from this afternoon right into political theater, basically. I could not imagine how much different your life would be. Gonzo was in the He was the political talking point for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
He had everybody hating him. And I'm like, why would you even go in there, I guess? But it's because people want to change the world.
Right.
And Gonzo wants to change the NFLPA and the way the whole thing goes for ex-players and former players and the way things will be in the future. That's why. He can't help it. He cares too much. He works too hard. His feelings don't matter for the bigger cause. That's probably what he would say.
Change the world with an app, Gonzo.
With Nate Burlison.
Flappy Bird.
With Nate Burlison, it's not only Good Morning Football, it's his rap career as well.
He can't make any more songs, you're saying?
No, I think he's done.
What was it, the 100 years in the
Keeping
NFL?
it 100.
Yeah, NFL 100.
Bro, he had a Lambo to a helicopter. It was awesome.
For the music video?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They weren't rented. They were owned.
Nate wasn't just on Good Morning Football, too. He was legitimately announcing the MVP, and then the next day was announcing what the Taliban were doing in Afghanistan. It was the quickest turnaround from basically the most PG news to the worst news possible. It was insane.
Hey, T's and P's over there, Nate.
Hey,
Hey, pulling for you, Nate.
Good luck, Nate.
Don't get chewed up over there, Nate.
Hasselbeck brought up that he was the retaliatory signing. Nate got like $50 million in that contract. So that just goes to show, like, he does not need.
I didn't know Nate had 50 mil.
From Nickelodeon?
The Slime Time?
Yeah.
Yep. Mark Summers gave it to him.
Pretty easy when you fucking.
shit.
Hey, Nate is legit one of the most creative humans to ever come out of the NFL, has the ability to do so much. Him going to CBS this morning, I assume, is a massive jump in the TV world and everything like that. We miss him in the game, though. And I assume there are some mornings where he misses. I mean, it would be nice to maybe talk about some toe drag swag. Right?
Yeah.
We miss him over here. Hope he's okay. Hope everything works out. Let's go to the 5 Energy phone lines. Go to 5energy.com. Use promo code McAfee. Get 10% off your order of any of the 15 flavors that 5 Energy has. It is remarkable. They got things like watermelon.
What?
Tropical burst.
What?
Cherry.
What?
Peach mango.
What?
Yeah, so peach mango is actually when it's in the womb and there's two human existence.
Oh.
And then they become one, and then you're born as a. You need
Hermaphrodite?
someone make love to you. Now, there's a guy on Jeopardy the other night who basically explained what he does for a living, and he studies two embryos becoming one, and 1 out of 8 humans for the last 20 years is one of these types of humans, and they did not know that or whatever. You have different sets of DNA with inside of you.
Does it mean like you were supposed to be twins and you engulfed your twin or you ate your twin?
I didn't do enough research.
I didn't understand.
Tetragrammatic chimerism.
Bingo.
There it is.
Well said.
What's it called? One more again.
Tetragrammatic chimerism.
Yeah, I think
Clears
short,
it right up.
I think chimerism.
Chimera
is a mythological creature that has two, and then now it's an actual study.
That was chimera.
You get it. Okay.
The way I understood it was sometimes an animal will be a male and they'll have female insides. It's insane.
What?
I don't think that is what that guy was explaining.
Well, the research I did about chimera, though, it's insane.
Yeah, that's a mythal. I don't think this.
Native Americans. Or
maybe I'm not sure.
Is it like is it a dingo or what are those?
A dingo ate your baby, AJ.
Not a dingo or what's the little things that go around? They're vicious and they eat everything. They have the females
Piranhas.
have like a fake dong they pop out to attract
Hyenas.
and then they kill people. Hyenas, right? Yeah.
Boom.
You're telling me the female hyenas pop out a prop dong?
Yeah. It's like, hey, look, I'm goating you. Oh, just kidding. I'm a girl. All right. And then they kill him.
I'm actually hyenaing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not goating you at all. I'm actually.
Gotcha. Give me your bones.
I don't think
Pretty
that's what
amazing.
we were talking about. That is a defense mechanism or a hunting mechanism. This particular case happens within a womb.
The Greek myth you were talking about, that's a female monster with a lion's head, goat's body, and a serpent's tail.
That's a sphinx.
No, that's a chimera.
chimera, yeah.
Okay.
Also known as a chimera.
Okay.
The basis of
Tetris?
chimerison, which I learned about.
What is happening? What is happening?
That's right.
We're talking
sports, dude.
Talking sports, dude. And to be honest, it's about the peach mango.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was wondering how we got to this.
The peach mango came together and it has a delightful taste, and the aftertaste is incredible. If you need 5 hours of energy, which we all do, I mean, certainly in the world that we live in, get a bunch of vitamins, get a bunch of energy from our friends at 5 Hour Energy at 5hourenergy.com, promo code McAfee. Let's go to Kansas. Aaron, what's going on?
Remember King's Family Restaurant had
What's up, Pat?
delicious
Boys?
peach
How are you
mango
guys today?
drink.
Oh yeah, they did. Where you get at the bar diner?
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That peach mango vodka, I know that.
Oh, see, I was a peach vodka guy. Let me put in an iced tea.
Ooh, okay.
And then I know exactly how much vodka is actually in it by how powerful the peach taste is.
Boom.
It's a great spring treat. I actually got through a couple years in college with it in the spring. I'd walk around with a gallon thing.
Oh, nice.
Of iced tea.
Perfect.
You know what I mean? And then just go ahead and dump that in there.
Uncle Pat's sweet tea.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was for a long time. I'd show up to basically everywhere with that thing.
Yeah, they're doing watermelon Red Bull vodkas now.
What?
That sounds crazy.
Sounds really good.
That's real.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, it doesn't sound good. What's your heart? All right, listen.
Sugar free. Sugar free, and you're good.
No, I think it's still.
It's well, the
As
watermelon.
we've talked about, you will wake up in the middle of the night shaking like a fish on
Doing
dry
the
land,
luge.
but
Yeah.
You'll have to do ginger ale at some point in your life, potentially, if your heart decides to go the other way. But Red Bull vodkas do this to your heart, right? Isn't that what they do?
Oh, yeah.
It's an upper and a downer. Yeah, I guess in theory, that's what it does.
Oh, this is like leaving your car on while you're pumping gas.
Yeah.
thing.
Exactly.
This is in theory, you heard him say it. With my two eyes, I ain't never seen anybody.
Well, I know alcohol is considered a downer, but do you feel like alcohol is a downer for you?
Yeah, you drink enough, you will fall asleep.
Yeah, it's get a little heavy depending upon what
Like
beer you're
anything,
drinking.
Then food's a downer. If you eat enough food, you're going to get tired.
That's
of it.
true.
Turkey for sure.
Turkey.
Yeah, turkey
Thanksgiving,
will put you to bed.
And then for you also, you know,
Sedative.
for you whenever you drive is a downer too.
Right.
Remember, you fall asleep while you're driving as well. So maybe it isn't just the alcohol. Let's go to the phones. Aaron in Kansas. What's going on, pal? Sorry you had to listen to all that. We had to clear some shit up, obviously. What's going on, dude?
What's up,
House
Pat,
cleaning.
AJ and the boys? How are you today?
Good, you.
I mean, you've
So I
heard the
want
show.
to know why the Chiefs' defense is so bad and why we can't hang on to the ball, and when's the new studio coming?
Okay, great question. New studio. So Q1 2022. Q1 2022. Okay, let's talk in some real terms. CFFL has been meeting with architects and
Andrew Luck.
general contractors and all that stuff, and we didn't. We're not building a building.
So before the Final Four.
We're building inside the building. It's a different architect. I think Andrew Luck builds the actual building.
Right.
Oh.
I think we are going inside. Maybe same. I'm not sure. I don't know if Andrew Luck would ever stoop to this level of architecture that we are asking for.
Yeah, he's out in
I'll
Denver
reach out.
anyways.
All right, let him know. Well, I think he's actually in town because T.Y. said that he stopped over his house and said, is everything okay?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jimmy with the Colts.
Yeah, well, let's go to Aaron in Kansas. Aaron, I don't know why. I don't know why the Chiefs' defense is the way it is. Did you guys lose any pieces? What does it feel like as a diehard fan?
I just think Spag is trash, and we should get somebody else, to be honest.
All right, I respect that. AJ, is that necessarily how all fans should think? Like if a defense one year is good and then a defense becomes bad and there's a lot of similar pieces. Is there a lot of similar pieces over there? It feels like there is.
So, yeah.
Is that coach, strategy, scheme? What is it you think? Or is it just players not playing good?
I mean, it could be. It's probably a combination of all of those things, but I mean, partly, I know their offense hasn't been as explosive as they have in the past, but a lot of times a defense can look worse than it is if your offense is putting up just touchdown after touchdown. You're on the field a lot defensively, and other teams are coming from behind. Yeah, they're going to put up some points on you, man. That's kind of how it works. That's not really the case this year so far with the Chiefs, but didn't they do this the last couple seasons where they eventually figured out towards the end of the season?
Yeah, every team that is going to go on a run figures out the defensive side of the ball, it feels like, more so than the offensive side of the ball towards the end of the season. And that's when you can really get a judge on who's going to be a Super Bowl. Hey, what defense is a Super Bowl winning looking defense? You can kind of, I mean, we've got 17 games now, so
right.
We'll have to adjust accordingly. But around like week 13, week 14, which defenses are humming? That's when it's like, okay, this team has a chance to go. This team has a chance to go. Who hasn't had any unfortunate injuries on the all sides, but mostly defense as well? That Buccaneers defense, they started fucking... Towards the end of the season, it was almost like they could win a Super Bowl, let alone how the offense is going to be. The Saints were like that for a while. Then they got some injuries and kind of fell behind. But maybe the Chiefs will be able to figure it out. Maybe they'll be able to do their thing. And a lot of people are potentially saying that because the defense is playing so bad, Patrick Mahomes is putting more pressure on himself to be successful, which is why he's more reckless, which is why it isn't going as well because it's a different state of mind. I think those people are wrong. I just think that potentially some days you're not as good as you are, and people are scheming against them now, and it's a different thing. And I just think inevitably Andy Reid out of the hospital, staying hydrated, great news. Mm-hmm. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, that offense, Eric Bieniemy, they'll be able to figure out how to be successful with all their weapons in due time, even though it looks like it's kind of gloom and doom right now.
Yeah, what, they're 2-3 at the moment? Yeah, you just don't want to lose. You don't want to drop any more right off the bat. They need to go on a little run and win, 2, 3, 4 games in a row.
Carson Wentz said you can't look at the record. It's just about next week anyway. So
That's right, 1 week at a time.
I mean, it's just about the next day, really. In general, if you're really talking coach speak.
I mean, if you want to dive in even more, I mean, what about the next meeting, the next practice, the next
Right
workout,
now.
the next rep? What's happening right now?
How about that?
Hey, be here now, dude. Ram Dass.
Boom. That's right. The culture read that.
Because when you're here, you are the universe, dude.
That's right.
You are a guru.
Chiefs have also lost to some very good teams.
You are a guru.
You are a guru. I told you many times, I do not want to be a guru.
No, you are. No, it's right in here.
Everyone's
You're
your own personal guru.
Right here.
Don't make me fucking look for it.
Tomato. It's all right.
Don't.
All right.
Found it. Find it?
Now, there's a picture of Aaron in here, though.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Zoom in on that.
That does look like him. Shit.
Is that his Halloween costume?
Page 47. Is he Ram Dass?
My God.
For real? Is that his face?
That is Rodgers.
Holy shit.
Oh, this is crazy, dude.
That's why he likes that book.
Man, I was just scrolling through it. I saw page 47. It's fucking me. I was like, all right, I love this book. Love this book. Good shout out Ram Dass. Is that Ram Dass or is that Aaron? We will never know, but you are the guru, dude. There is no actual gurus. You are the guru. Let's go to Will in San Antonio. I think we all have faith in the Chiefs, all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Won't bet on them. Won't bet on them to cover at all.
Nope.
But I will continue to enjoy watching them play football and figuring it out.
I actually have a quick question for AJ on the subject of the Chiefs. We talked about their defense struggling and then figuring it out a couple years ago, but I think that was a lot to do with them switching from a 3-4 to a 4-3. And now they've been in the 4-3 for 2 seasons now? How much of a difference does that make, AJ? Like, this is the same system now. You feel like you wouldn't have those same issues.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, depending on if you have the right body types to play a 4-3, which they've proven they have, that's who it's the biggest change is a guy DN to outside backer, those kind of people. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you'd have to sit. I wonder, Spagnuolo's still the guy, right? Still the DC?
Yes. And that guy, Aaron, hopes not for much longer, though. He
job.
actually said he would like him to get fired. He went straight out of the Monday morning hot take department and said, get this fucking guy out of here, which, by the way, maybe he is the problem. And I remember when Robert Mathis when Chuck came into town, they changed from a 3-4 to a 4-3, whatever they can. What is it? They went from a 4-3 to a 3-4, I think. They went from 4 down to 3 down. And they had
So he had to drop a little bit then in a 2-point stance.
And Freeney did as well. And Freeney did not adjust as well to that, so he was not on the field until 3rd downs, and we were paying him like $17 million a year. And he was not happy about that either, I don't think. And by happy, I mean he was a great teammate. He was always a great teammate. There was no, taking any attention away, but I think all of us knew what Dwight Freeney was. And since we had to make the adjustment into the new defense because that's what they knew, him dropping in coverage, this is not great for Dwight's career here, I don't think. But Robert Mathis got into it a little bit. He did it. But then they inevitably just had him get back to rushing the passer, which is what some things are a hybrid 3-4, 4-3, right? Depending upon how you do, especially with the transition.
Yeah, the thing is, though, even if you play a 3-4, you're very rarely in the 3-4 because that's only usually your base personnel. Like, if they have 2 running backs and a tight end and something like that, there's times when you could be a 3-4 team and you never show a 3-down front because you're never in base.
Okay, let's go to Will in San Antonio before we get to a break, before Chuck Pagano, great Paisan, joins us to talk about Sean Taylor and what he knows and the legacy of a player's getting his number retired at I don't know if it's this weekend. I don't know if they're moving it or if they're going to keep it this weekend. We'll see how it goes via the president's brief. Joining us from San Antonio, Will, what's going on, dude?
Hey, Pat, you guys are more than just an average show. You're redefining sports talk, like the Joe Rogan cast of sports over here.
That's too much pressure. He just fucking... It's a lot of pressure. He's doing real world stuff. It is much different than we are, but I appreciate what you just said. That's an incredible compliment. Although it's not warranted, we will appreciate it. What do you want to talk about, brother?
Well, we in the PMS Army want you to call those clowns down there at ESPN, put Peyton back on Monday night, or we're moving the show to 10 Eastern and sending First Take down the tube.
All right, well, I appreciate that, Will. That would be quite a power play. That would be quite a power play. Imagine if our community was we will force Pat to move to a different time if you won't go head-to-head, if you won't do this. I think that was the Omaha Productions decision.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that was ESPN's decision. I would assume ESPN would want that to be on every game all the time. I think that was a good idea by them. Good decision by them to have that happen. I would like to know immediately who pitched the idea. Mm-hmm. Who pitched it? Was it Peyton in Omaha saying, I know you want me to do Monday Night Football, but instead I do it from my house? And then Eli would do it from his house, and then we just kind of watch the game.
Yeah.
And they were like, good, you got it. Here's a check. Do whatever you got to do. And I appreciate the fact that they've at least added that on. I am excited for Week 7 for that to be back, though.
Oh, yes.
Don't you think it's good for them, the fact that they kind of hit the ground running and did so well, and now that there's time off and people are like, hey, where are they? I wish they were on this game. Like every Monday night game, people wish they were there. So you always want them, leave them wanting more.
This sounds incredibly bad, I guess. But when I was in the NFL, I couldn't not punt during the week and then go punt on Sunday. I would have thought that I would have lost it. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Like I had to punt. Even when I had like a dislocated kneecap, I had to punt through the week. I wasn't able to walk after days that I would kick Wednesday, Thursday, whatever I would do it. I had to do it because I didn't have enough confidence that it would still be there by the time the game came or whatever. I had to do it. And I think there's a lot of people that are like that. I'm not 100% sure, but that's literally how I felt. When I do Friday Night SmackDown, because of how much happens from one Friday to the next, like going in there, I'm like, man, I hope I remember how to fucking do this. I don't know if Peyton ever has that moment because he's Peyton and Eli, but I think they were finding like a nice groove. I wonder whenever they come back after a 3-week break if it'll take a little bit to get back into it, which would be expected, but that's something that I personally, when I heard they were doing a break, I was like, man, it's just starting to go, but they're much smarter and intelligent and talented than I am.
Yeah, Eli said they were watching the game, still talking on the phone, I think, so I assume they were probably just practicing how they would call it, just so they keep that going.
And I'm sure that's happening. Yeah, let's get to a break. Chuck Pagano joins us on the other side. Can't wait to chat with the Paisan and hopefully some more phone calls. And then I got to get a flight to Ontario, California for tomorrow night's supersized SmackDown.
Yes.
Going 2.5 hours.
Whoa.
I think.
2.5.
Tune in.
Sheesh.
Find out.
I think it's on Fox Sports 1, I think.
Oh.
I don't know. Anyways, then we watch the risk-free same-game parlay hit. Then we celebrate tomorrow, and we have the best weekend of all time. Chuck's on the other side. We'll talk to you in 4. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Coach Mike Tomlin.
Oh, man, Pat, it's an honor to be on with you, man. Thanks for having me.
You're a legend. Thank you for putting me through my workout and having the scouts actually come watch me kick at West Virginia. I don't think I've ever fully thanked you for that moment, Coach.
No, man, I've drank the McAfee Kool-Aid for a long time.
Let's get right into it. The locker room culture changed completely when I was in the league, from when I was a rookie to when I was done, and I retired after the 2016 season. Now it's even more different, I would assume, from when you came into Pittsburgh and everything like that. The dancing on the logo, the TikTok, everything like that you guys have had to experience. What is your messaging in there? How do you adapt and let players be themselves without, doing too much? Because that is a fine balance that you've been able to do, I think, in an incredible job with throughout your entire time in Pittsburgh.
I think for me, more than anything, I try to stay connected. Just getting a sense of where these guys are coming from, what's in vogue for their generation, what captures their attention, how do they learn, how do they communicate, how do they interact with each other formally and informally. And I think being a parent kind of helps me. My boys are 19 and 20, so it's not much difference between them and some of the younger guys that I deal with here. And so for me, it's just about gaining an understanding, working to stay connected. That's my general attitude, man. It's adapt or die for me. And I don't want to be one of them old crusty guys, man, that just refuses to adapt. Although I am one of those old crusty guys now.
Yeah, you are old as shit now. You know what I mean? I mean, you've been around a long time. I remember back in the day, whenever you showed up, there was a lot more, to the camera. There's a lot more.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that. Now you're just old ass man now, huh?
You know how it is. Years in this business will scar you, man. It'll settle you down.
That is classic. One of my favorite moments with you is when you would tell me every warm-up, I'm going to get you back to Pittsburgh when you're old and cheap. What does that mean? What did that mean? And should that have been taken as a smack in the mouth, like whenever you said that to me?
No, man, it was a tip of the cap, man. There's certain guys around this league that I'm really interested in, but I know I cannot afford. And you were one of them, so I was going to wait for you to physically deteriorate a little bit until you came back into my wheelhouse.
Yinzers are going to go bananas in Heinz Field this weekend. First time it could be filled up in a long time. I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to... Oh, mama, I'm in here for my life. I'm the Is that your alarm clock? Yeah, just say yes, by the way. Yeah.
It's my ringtone. It's my alarm clock.
We appreciate you, Coach T. Last question before we let you go. Why'd you let Troy Polamalu do what he fucking did to me? Why'd you let? I know you've heard of this. Why? Well, that's a short side of the field. That's bad football. You guys coaching unsound football over there in Pittsburgh? How did that happen?
We know you and love you as a man, but on Sundays in the fall, man, you're the nameless gray faces that we.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, never had a losing season, absolute legend, two-time Super Bowl champion, Mike Tomlin. Thank you, Coach.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
There's no better feeling than breaking free and going untouched into the end zone. That's why Fluid Master, the world's #1 toilet repair brand, is awarding the NFL player who has the best untouched touchdown each week.
That was great.
The Week 3 winner of a soft spot 9,500 per day, as decided by the voters, was Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts.
We announced that yesterday.
Okay, this week's fan winner, without further ado,
there we go.
Stephen Tosh at another Tosh, not Tosh.0, different guy.
Hey, congrats, Steve.
Yeah, congrats to Steve on his soft spot, 9,500 per day and $200, which you will have to use to install it. But apparently somebody has said,
easy.
you know, it's very easy. Yes, we've seen that.
Convenient,
easy,
clean butthole.
Yep. Boom. It's everything you need. You get to crown each winner each Tuesday with Bruce Brown's Twitter poll, at Bruce Brown, and then congratulate them by tweeting their name with hashtag PMSUntouched for a chance to win your own soft spa, 9,500 per day. Also, if you don't win it, enter code PAT4930 for $49.30 off your soft spa bidet at checkout on shop.fluidmaster.com.
Okay, great work, Connor.
There we go.
Joining us now is a man who's been living that bidet life for a long time NFL coach, legend of a man, Paisan out of Idaho, host of the Coach Us Up Chuck segment normally on Wednesdays. Today, to chit-chat about the legacy of a man who's getting his number retired at the Washington football team this weekend. Allegedly, maybe. We aren't 100% sure. Chuck Pagano.
Yeah!
Wow, you look good. Wow. The U, huh? The U. Hey, you had great times down there at the U. I don't think that gets talked about enough. You were back there when the U was the U, too, right?
Yeah, so went back there in 1995 with Butch Davis. I was there for a year in '86 with Jimmy Johnson. That's where I met all those guys. And then went back in '95, and we left after the 2000 season. Butch got the Cleveland Browns job, 2001. But, yeah, some amazing teams and players. And, I mean, that year, the 2000, you're talking about Sean Taylor, that 2004 draft, 6 first-rounders, tied an all-time record that year in the NFL draft, 6, and that's in the first 21 picks, Pat. Unbelievable. This is how bright we were. Butch gets a Cleveland job. I decided to go to Cleveland. I could have stayed on with Larry Coker, and they didn't lose a game for 2 years, won the national championship. They beat Nebraska, I think, in the Rose Bowl. That following year, and then they won every game, and then lost to the Ohio State. In the national championship. Phantom flag. This PI out of nowhere, and Ohio State ends up winning that game. But the rest of the shit, I mean, they won. I mean, they beat the hell out of everybody. But anyway, some great memories, some great times, some great players, obviously, and and Sean being one of those guys.
Let's talk about, by the way, I think AJ would have a differing opinion on that Phantom PI because he is introduced as college football national champion every time he comes on here because of that game. So we don't have to dive into that. Ohio State getting or getting calls, though. Never would have guessed.
Yeah, interesting.
Never would have guessed.
Scumbags.
It's like they say, OH, and all the refs go back. I owe you a bunch of calls. That's what it seems like whenever I'm watching it. I know, big deal, especially when AJ Hawk is there. And that is not real. That is just strictly for a funny moment in the show. Please do not kill me, Colt, in Ohio. I do not mean that. Anyways, Chuck, let's talk about Sean Taylor. Now, long overdue, obviously, with his number getting retired this weekend. The rollout has been clunky. I think Jason Wright is going to address that. But when you go into retiring a number, there's a lot that has to happen behind the scenes with families and testimonials and videos. We assume, and we were told by Rappaport, and AJ thought this was planned long ago. Jason Wright wants to create a new chapter of people that have, committed a lot to organization. We should show them some love. Your thoughts on Sean Taylor as a whole, him getting retired, and what this means going forward?
Yeah, I think, I agree with AJ on this one. And you got to plan well in advance on these things for all the reasons that were already mentioned and talked about. But I think long overdue, just like you said. Sean was amazing player, person, talent. I remember, recruiting. I didn't recruit him personally, but when we were recruiting him, he was at Gulliver Prep his senior year down in Miami. The guy rushed for, I think, 1 million yards and 44 touchdowns. An absolute beast. 6'2", 215 pounds, sub 4'4", just a freak athlete and a man amongst boys, so to say. And, Miami was lucky enough to get him. Played safety there, obviously, and the rest is history. But, career obviously cut way too short. Tragic ending to his life, but phenomenal football player. And like AJ said and everybody else, I mean, this guy would knock the living shit out of you. I mean, you talk about somebody that didn't give a crap. When you go to the Pro Bowl and you hit a punter like he hit, it's like, hey, we're like, thank God it wasn't you, Pat. But
thank God.
It wouldn't have looked that bad. But I mean, when when you go over the Pro Bowl, it's like, okay, we got an agreement. This is 2-hand touch. We're not hitting each other. We're going to drag each other down. This is about having fun. Walkthroughs, no practice, no meetings, a lot of drinks during the night. Blah, blah, blah. And we'll get, and Sean Taylor was like, obviously, I ain't signing up for that shit. You're telling me as a winning team, I'm going to get, 50,000 and a losing team gets 25. There's no way I'm signing up for that shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
But anyway, what a great player.
Chuck, hey, how early on in your time at Miami did you look around and realize, like, wow, I'm around just some unbelievable talent, and also like the depth of talent you had too was crazy?
No, you're exactly right. I mean, I was working in the secondary at the time, coaching D-backs and special teams, and we had Ed Reed, the late Al Blades, Benny Brade's son, and Al's son is playing down there right now. Mike Rumpf and Philip Buchanan, all first-round draft picks, other than Al, but it was phenomenal. And Schnellenberger started it way back in the day about recruiting the state of Miami, and we didn't lose players, and we didn't go mess with. Tampa was as far north as we went, because Florida State and Florida at the time were all three schools were rolling, but it was just sick. I mean, you think about 2004 in that draft, and when we ended up with Winslow, and that's another story if we have time for it on draft day.
Absolutely,
and maybe. We end up with Winslow, but Jonathan Vilma, DJ Williams both went in the first round. Vernon Carey, Vince Wilfork, those were the six, along with Sean. Those were the six dudes, and there was probably another 20, 30 guys off those two teams that got opportunities to play in the National Football League, and you always hear about the U and the brotherhood. And those guys sticking together and staying close, and guys coming back. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. And we've all seen the 30 for 30, and
You don't
know,
want
that
us
was my
dancing.
first.
Stop us from scoring.
Yeah, exactly.
That place was awesome. Swag.
Pump that ball. Oh, absolutely. And I remember, during the draft, you know how you get on the phone and you got the player on the phone and you can see him at home if he's not at the draft in the green room, and he's got, the family there, the aunts, uncles, girlfriend, mom, dad, dog, cat, everybody's there, and we've seen all those things. So I'm on the phone because we're picking 6 in the draft, and the Giants were picking number 4, and Washington was at number 5. And so we're obviously doing everything that we possibly can to see if we can work out something with the Giants and move up, to get Sean. And so I'm on the phone like we're talking right now, and I'm on the phone. Sean's in the picture. I'm watching the TV. I'm talking to Sean. Sean's sitting around with his whole family, and we're talking on the phone. And, boy, this is going to be unbelievable. Meanwhile, our upper brass, Butch, general manager, they're all talking on the phone with the Giants, and we think we got a deal done, right? And all of a sudden, I'm like, I can't wait to get you up here. I missed out on an opportunity to coach you back at the U, when I left for Cleveland, but we're going to have another run at it, and blah, 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 blah. We're going on and on and on. And so all of a sudden, I'm talking, and John is on the phone. He looks to the side, and he looks back, and he just hangs up. And I'm like, what the hell just happened, Sean? Sean, are you there? And so I hang up. Butch is like, what happened? He said he hung up, and then across the room, he said, no deal with the Giants. Apparently, they just worked out a deal to flip with Phillip Rivers, right, and work that whole deal and get Eli Manning, all right? And then we got on the phone with Washington, and Vinny Serrato was the GM at Washington at the time, and he's like, no, sir. No, thank you. We didn't have enough draft capital. We're not taking anything. We're taking Sean Taylor. So that was that. We ended up picking Winslow number 6 overall, and the rest is history.
Man, that would have obviously changed the course of a lot of places, I'd assume, because he was a game changer, game wrecker, and not that Kellen didn't have a great run in the NFL. Wow. Hey, he's a soldier, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cleveland, what a place, man. That is incredible insight. We can't thank you enough for joining us and chit-chat. What do? You just get off the golf course?
No, it's 35 degrees here today. I thought, well, maybe 45. It's supposed to warm up a little bit later, so I'm pretty picky when it comes to golf, Pat. If it's 80, 85, and like no humidity, dry heat, I'm good. But that cold weather stuff, I have a hard time when it's 80 and beautiful.
We can't thank you enough. Tell Tina we said hello. Thank you for the insight. You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach Chuck Pagano. Thank you, Chuck. He's the best.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Oh, he's going to be a
I mean,
Brown.
it sucks he can't play golf right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Cold as hell.
35, he said? Snow starting? Is that...
It was snowing in Montana yesterday.
Yeah, they have a storm coming through right now.
Are you serious? Mm-hmm. What is it? Fucking October 14th.
Hey, we've been trick-or-treating. It's been snow before.
Pat, do you know that Kellen Winslow's in jail?
Right now?
Yeah, I'm sure he still is, right? I wonder when he gets out.
No, I just remember...
He got rang up on a bunch of stuff, man. It was bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was in a parking lot doing his thing.
Yeah, he was stroking his baloney in a Boston Market parking lot. I think that was kind of the tip of the iceberg.
There's a lot more. It's not.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I did
but
not
that's
know.
what you're talking about.
It's bad. It's bad and weird. Yeah, it's weird. Oh, yeah.
He's in jail right now? Jeez.
I didn't know that.
Bad guy.
I think he got over 10 years.
Oof.
Yeah.
It looks like it's 14 years.
Holy shit. Bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, Sean Taylor could have been a Cleveland Brown from what I've been told. Great guy. The trade didn't go through. And now we retire the number 21 for the Washington football team. Has the president given a brief? What? Kellen Winslow, terrible guy? Yeah, that sounds like a terrible fucking
sexual assault and stuff like that, right? Rape.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I think it is bad.
Jesus,
that was in the article. Yes.
All right, let's go to the phones then. Let's change the subject. Obviously, I did not know that.
No idea.
Golly, he was a maniac, right? Well,
uh-huh.
Well, I mean, obviously, terrible person, maniac. You have to do.
Broke into trailer parks with old ladies and assaulted them. Yeah, it's a bad deal.
Holy fuck. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. I know that now. We will act accordingly going forward. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Jeremy in New York. Sorry to everybody that he did that. I mean, I don't know him. I'm not friends with him. I do not know him at all. He was in the NFL, as was I. But what a fucking terrible. That's terrible. Let's go to Jeremy in New York. What's going on, Jeremy?
Hey, what's going on, Pat? AJ, boys. How we doing today?
Hey, not too shabby, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So I just had a couple questions for you. So I was watching the mic'd up segment from this past week, and at one point Tyreek Hill, when he motioned under center, he looked at Tremaine Edmonds and goes, 49's mom's a hoe. What did you hear in your time, even AJ, when you guys were in the league, that absolutely just blew your mind when you guys were out there on the field?
That is awesome that happened. I'm thankful that they released that as well. Sorensen is 49, right? Is that Sorensen?
Tyreek Hill to Tremaine Edmonds.
Tremaine Edmonds. Yeah. Hey, you're okay. I was about to say maybe not his own teammate, although I heard it is not getting great for Sorensen over there in Kansas City right now. I love that. Did you hear any great cadences from any quarterbacks? Any good dialect back and forth between you guys?
No, not really. Nothing like that. I mean, that's a little more personal than things tend to go. Usually something like that can cause a bit of a brawl when you have like any mention about any kind of family members.
I love the fact that Tyreek Hill said, I get a chance to be a quarterback real quick. Give a little bit of a cadence here. What do I always want to say? Well, hey, your mom's a hoe, dude. All right, I'm going to get out of here, by the way. Then we're going to throw a touchdown. What a fascinating situation. There was also the Kirk Cousins mic'd up with Mike Zimmer that has come out this morning or last night, whenever it was. He does say, you like that? You like that? Then there's a wait, and then there's a voice crack on the, you like that? And then Zimmer pushes him back, and then he turns around and jogs away. So literally, it sounds like that is how Kirk Cousins potentially showcases immense joy. Mm-hmm. And they just hit a 54-yard field goal, wanted to fight a guy, looked like he wanted to fight a guy. That was just him celebrating. I love mic'd up situations, especially when we get to the root of some great conversation pieces.
Oh, yeah. I mean, how many players get mic'd up per team, like per game? You think, maybe 2?
So the guards, right, they're mic'd up, aren't they, for the telecast?
Well, I mean, that's just like an external mic for the TV, maybe, or the center and the ref. I'm saying that mic'd up's like that, where they go through all of it and then they cut it down to like 5 minutes and put it out.
So you're 100% sure, just like I was, that everybody's mic'd up at all times, right? Is that what you thought?
I didn't think everybody was, no.
But the people that are mic'd up, that is going to be on, like, for instance, I never wanted to be mic'd up. Because let's say somebody I have a lot of respect for who was a coach made a bad decision. I go, this guy's a fucking idiot, dude. Yeah. And then that is on record somewhere. And somebody has that, and it's like, I might like that guy just in the heat of the moment. I say something about him or about the team or about the situation or about somebody else on another team. It's like, I never trusted it, never understood it. But as a fan, I love it. I absolutely enjoy it. And I just assume everybody's mic'd up, goes into a part of the vault in NFL films. And if they need to look something up, they just go in there and they're like, what minute was it? You think this guy said something real terrible. When was it? First quarter of a game in 2006. 5 minutes in, we were on defense, and the NFL film is just like 3 keywords. It's like, got it. Here it is. Let's send it out. Like that's how I assume it's all logged, but that's probably giving them way too much credit with that whole thing.
Yeah, I think you might be giving them a little too much credit. I know I was mic'd up a few times, and they would send me a link that was probably 30, 35 minutes long of like, this is like the total product. This link will expire within like 24 hours, and then they take that and they cut it to like 3 minutes.
Who watched? Did you like showcase that to the family? Did you have like a premiere night? Did you roll out a red carpet? Be like, hey, this is what it sounds like when Dad's out there doing his business. Did you guys do that or no? Get the popcorn?
I told them before they mic'd me up, like, hey man, like I don't talk very often. Like they get me talking a lot in the huddle, calling the defense, and then making checks at the line, and then after that, it's just grunting and running and noise, like sound breathing, basically.
What did Luke Fickell say? Luke Fickell said that he would ask you what your job was, and you would say, yeah, I got the flat or whatever. And then he would like, yeah, but you got the 1 to the 2 or whatever if he comes out. And you were like, yeah, I got the...
I saw that clip. That clip like triggered me. It triggered me when I saw Luke say that on the show. It got me thinking like, I'd completely forgotten about that, but Luke would always do that. He's like, oh, he might be a 1-2 match and going, but he'd have the flat. And I'd say, AJ, what do you have? And he'd get frustrated. Yeah, I would. The numbering things that he would do and try how he'd explain it to me, because however my brain works, I just felt like we were making it. I feel like a lot of things are too complicated, and so that's when I would eventually get frustrated. I'd be like, I'll be there. Trust me, I'll be there. I don't know what your numbering system is. I'll be there.
I get what you're trying to say. Okay, I'm being the fucking flat. Yeah. I don't know who.
He'd always ask me. He'd always come to me. What are you? 2-1, 1-2? I'm like, I'm 7, Luke. I have no idea.
Are you like a Rain Man football wise? When Tom spoke, and you don't have to say this, I'm sure other people will, but did you feel as if you had an advantage over others with your natural feel and tendency for the game? Did you pick it up very early? Like you had a pretty good understanding of what people were trying to do quickly?
I don't know if I did like more than other guys playing in the league, but I think I would have a hard time explaining it to people. Like that's why I'm not a great coach. Like I have a hard time explaining why something is the way I could sit there and talk you through pre-snap, what their looks is, like what we need to worry about, but I'd have a hard time like teaching that to people. I think you need to do everything, work all week, work your whole life, work on your fundamentals, everything, so then your instincts take over when you get to the game.
I get that, but yeah, so you just had it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like when he decides to jump over a guy to get the ball.
Yep.
In the end zone. And then the ref's like, well, can't do that, obviously, and throws pass interference, and then you make a goal line stand the next play to win the game, and then don't celebrate. You chase down that ref that fucked you over. That's AJ Hawk football, baby.
Hell yeah.
I got the flat, dude. I don't know if it's a 2 or 1. I know I got that ref immediately after this fucking play is made. After I jump over this offensive line here, I don't know if that was the play call or not. Did you do a lot of improv while you played, or was it mostly,
No, I probably should have more. I was always, maybe just from being the youngest of 3 boys and never wanting to like make a mental error. I was always like, I don't want to leave my dude out to dry. Like no matter what I'm not going to screw my dude when the guy's behind me.
Hell yeah. What a teammate.
Wow.
Legend.
What?
Oh, you'll see later. You'll see later.
I understand. I appreciate that. I respect that. That's why you are AJ Hawk. That's AJ Hawk.
What am I going to see later?
That's right. That's AJ Hawk football.
Hell yeah.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to last call here. We only got about 30 seconds. Let's go to Ryan in Logan, Utah. What's going on, Ryan?
Not much. Pat, AJ, boys, super glad to be on. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Great to have you, man. You're awesome. Thanks for coming. It is pretty hilarious.
Hey, I just wanted to chat with you guys. I think it's hilarious that like people like Colin Cowherd are using your clip on the radio. I drive home from campus each day here in Logan, and I listen to Colin. I think it's hilarious that you guys get played on his show. It's awesome.
Oh, thank you, Ryan. We appreciate that. Yeah, it's been cool to add to the sports media space, and I think we've done that. Obviously, Aaron with his time and the guest, Tom Telesco, a couple things got clipped and some other stuff. We're very lucky to be a part of it, honestly. And hopefully we're able to provide some sort of good shit. Not as good as Chris Mad Dog Russo, who's on the other side of this 6-minute break, though. Ain't that right, AJ?
He's going to have a great show. He always does well on Thursdays.
Ryan, thank you for your call. Rappaport, Hasselbeck, Chuck, everybody that listened and watched. Can't thank you enough. What a beautiful risk-free same-game parlay Thursday Night Football Thursday it is shaping up to be, especially when that thing hits. Get on board now as the odds might change. It's at plus 900-something. Risk-free $10 for 90-something. Going into the holiday season, let's go! That was a good rally of troops.
Nailed it.
Nailed
it.
That was a good rally of troops.
It's going to hit tonight, too.
Oh, yeah.
I honestly believe it.
Me too.
Evie with the timing, too, hitting the after hours right away.
Oh, it's not that hard, AJ.
Well, you make it look easy, Evie.
Evie, you do make it look easy.
Evie!
Thank you, Evie.
Thank you, Evie.
Evie, you changed the guy's name to Bruce. That's good.
Hey, what is Bruce Brown's Twitter, though? You keep bringing up his Twitter polls. No one knows his Twitter name.
I said, yeah.
It's Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown. Is it really?
Yeah.
B-R-A-H-N.
What is his full real name?
Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown.
Who cares?
Oh, okay, good.
Jeez Louise.
Come on, Gump.
No,
Canadians
that was
supposed to be
Nick.
nuts.
That was Nick. That's how bad this show has become, by the way. Somebody takes a low blow shot across the bow, and you have no idea what one of 6 could have sent that. It's unbelievable. Unfucking believable out here. I got to hop on a plane here soon, AJ.
Ontario, California.
There it is.
I did think, when I was told about this particular show weeks ago, I was certain I was going up to old Gumpy Town.
Yeah?
I was certain.
Can you go to Canada yet? Like, can we travel there?
I don't know. Can you? You can go to England. I know,
November,
obviously,
he said
with
it was
football.
opening up.
They're doing full stadiums, so I assume.
In Canada?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
He said both borders are open November.
Canadians only, though.
Yeah.
Full stadiums
There
right
it
now.
is. November.
That's pretty. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, I agree, though.
What?
Them having borders shut down for this long, isn't that a little bit of like, shouldn't that be a.
Protect this house.
But also, shouldn't that be a conversation like.
Well, how many people from the U.S. are actually trying to actively go up to Canada?
14-year-olds that are trying to drink underage?
Toronto Raptors.
And they have a bone to pick.
I have.
Great time.
I have traveled across
Windsor.
that border a lot. As somebody who has traveled into Canada on a, I don't want to say consistent basis there for a few years of my life, but I went up there a lot. Coming back into America was always a scary one. You know, it was always scary. I thought they weren't going to let us back in. It was that was a real turn off the car, please. We're not putting fuel in, but we are going to check that back seat. And then they pull a bag out, and Nick's got all the supplements from GNC in his fucking bag in a Ziploc bag, as opposed to in their actual bottle. So obviously we have to answer some questions on the potential.
Gym bag.
That was unbelievable. We were going for 2 nights. This dude had 7,000 pills in a Ziploc. It was a calcium pills or something like that. I don't even know what it was.
It wasn't calcium pills.
What was it?
I don't remember, to be honest. It was
My
some type
bones
of.
hurt.
Right, it was like one of those capsules. They're like this, and
It was a horse pill.
It was.
What
It was
the
big,
hell?
and you could see through it, so you could see what was inside of it. And this.
That's how you know it's not drugs.
Literally, the board. I didn't know that. Maybe the border person did, and I just was. Oh my God! Seriously. Turn a car off, fucking of course. And it's like 1 every 4 or 5 cars, it felt like at the time, is what you had to do. And we're always terribly still drunk, probably, if I had to guess. And shouldn't be doing that, by the way. Shouldn't be doing that. We were too young. We were
Living
too
like
dumb.
Mitt.
We had no idea. Exactly. But we were much younger than Mitt. So Mitt should have evolved out of
Semi
this.
didn't rip your car door off.
Well,
Don't bring that up.
funny you say that. We had a guy almost fall into Niagara Falls one time. So, I mean, that is potentially, I don't know which one's worse there, but will you please turn off the car, please, and take the keys out of the ignition or something like that? And then they like snoop around. They have a dog, and then they open it, and then they literally grab my bag, and I think I had a garbage bag. I think it was a garbage bag, and they open the garbage bag, and it's like, all right, these kids look homeless. And then Nick had this hockey bag, I think, and they open this thing, and literally the guy just pulls that bag right out of the top and just fucking looks at us sitting in the front seat. And I'm like, I don't know what to ask him. I honestly don't know what that. I don't think that's drugs. And then,
Littering in?
supplements is what Nick said. And the guy was like, yeah, all right.
All right, buddy.
He fucking bought it.
I will say, after that trip, I got a lot less nervous coming into America because it looked like he had way too many drugs on him.
It was my gym bag. I just threw some stuff in there. We're going to Canada. Here we go. All right, let's go.
It was awesome. We made it back. But you couldn't make it to Canada for the last, 19, 20 months. That's crazy. That is
Did
wild.
you ever do? I know it's more for like California people. Do you ever go to Tijuana and go over there for the night and go buy a bunch of steroids and who else knows what you do?
I've never done that, but it sounds like that is something you are familiar. You've watched?
I've never been to Tijuana, but I've heard that's a thing.
Catch a donkey show.
Yeah. I heard about those from a very young age. Are those?
What are they? What are you talking about?
They're a show where an animal does a thing with a woman. It's a chimera. But
Whoa,
What do they
just
do?
Googled it.
I'm not sure. Should
Oh,
not
you
Google
know.
that. Not on this web. Hey,
Donkeys are like what
get
kids
out
ride
of
at
here.
birthday parties.
We don't need big wet butts. We don't need donkey shows. We don't need anything on this internet. You hear me?
No.
Have a little respect for the
I
business.
thought it was
Mr.
a
Hand.
Disney program.
You thought Donkey Show was a Disney program? Like
No,
Shrek had a
no.
donkey? It's not Disney.
We were just going over to Tijuana for the night to sit down and watch a Disney program.
Those stores in Mexico.
All right. Anyways, Jesus, Shrek, great donkey.
I love Shrek. That's Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, much different donkey show.
Yeah.
Anyways, people walk, right? I think people just walk over to Tijuana and then they walk back.
Yeah, there's a gate. There's literally a gate you walk through.
You've done this before?
Yeah.
All right. So, what of the list of things that we just mentioned that happens over there did you accomplish that evening? Anything? Or
We just went out. We were in San Diego and said, fuck it.
I heard it's a great time, Tijuana.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, they have like the whistles and the
Donkeys.
They do have the donkeys.
Crazy.
What is with the whistles and shaking your head while you have to do a tequila shot?
Energy. It's everybody else.
It's a fun atmosphere. They're trying to create the culture.
Oh, okay.
You are a part of the show. You're not the donkey, but you are a part of the. So the donkey is actually.
You're kind
The
of
donkey
And
show.
you are.
Get off my land,
Well,
donkey.
no, it's just the
El
vibe.
burro.
It's just the vibe, you know. That's a good one. If you're a pretty good, chugger of things in those situations, you can really make everybody's nights terrible if you want. You know, because the energy's going and then you just.
At a donkey show?
No, all right. No, not at all. I'm talking about the bars when they're dumping the.
Come on,
the
dude.
tequila.
Like Carlos and Charlie's. Isn't that where they like to do that?
All right, I don't know what that is, but I assume it's
It's a
something.
bar. It's a bar. It's nothing weird.
Yeah,
It's a
sure.
bar.
It's like a Senor Frogs.
Is it like Coyote Ugly, dude?
It's like a Senor Frogs.
You remember Coyote Ugly had a run there?
Oh, yeah.
It's a good movie.
Does that still happen?
Yeah, I believe there are a couple.
But I remember when that movie came, obviously, I did miss that movie. I should have watched it, I assume.
Great
but
movie.
I did realize that most bars after that just thought they were that, and I just started seeing people doing absurd shit at bars, and I was like, okay, pretty wild place.
Coyote
down
Ugly.
here.
Here we
Was
are.
that
Oh, no.
Was
The
it
one in New York that's based off did close.
Oh no.
Ah.
Shit.
Fuck.
There's
It's
one
having
in
moments
in
of-
Seattle. It's called Cowgirls. It's the exact same.
Okay. All right.
What, they just dance? People just dance in the bar?
Yeah, you go, you
Same
do a
thing.
shot. They stand on your shoulders with their heels on, pour it down your mouth.
Heels in your shoulders?
Oh,
You're getting
yeah.
spiked?
Hell
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
That
So
blows.
How'd that place survive?
Well, it depends
COVID?
on what you're into.
What's that?
I like the pain pal.
No, into terrible
Is
shoulders.
that like that movie? What was that show I watched where the guy was getting
Billions.
pissed on?
Yep.
He loves that type of stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, he does actually.
Speaking of Squid Games.
Hey, I started Squid Games, dude. Me and the wife.
How is it?
Fascinating.
Very good.
I'm
It's a
five.
great show.
I'm 5 episodes in. It's good. It is very good. A lot of questions. A lot of downtime. Don't need. But I think my favorite part is that. Let me stand on a soapbox real quick.
Okay.
Siciliano.
Yeah, Siciliano soapbox here. Not that Siciliano does it to be a soapbox or grandstand. He does it just so he can, make it.
Be
But
at eye
For
level.
the inches.
it is nice to see, that is an entirely Korean movie. Very relatable.
Yeah.
I think that is something that Netflix could potentially do for people as international series continue to grow and potentially catch on in other countries. As somebody who maybe had never been to Asia before or never had a clue what life is like over there, you probably assume it is very different because I've been to Japan. It is vastly different, but it was nice to see that their sense of timing and comedy and what maybe makes them feel like stress and anxiety is. I think it's a good unifier. I think it is actually a good unifier of a show. Now, there are some startling moments in that show where you go, holy shit.
Yeah.
They are some savages over there. I mean, there is a couple of those, but I think that was what my biggest take, because, my wife's mom is from Seoul, right? So I think, I don't want to speak for my wife, but it was I think it was kind of cool to experience, I think that was a very cool thing. And for me, watching it, and I'm normally on Cloud 50, not talking about standing on a soapbox like I'm currently doing, but actually, so I started thinking about shit while I'm watching. I'm this is actually really fucking cool because it feels like we're getting to learn a little bit more about people we probably would have never met. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'll finish it. I think I get
No,
it.
stay up there. Stay up there. You're good.
No, I'm off my soapbox. I'm done talking about it. Now I'm going to say, I'm probably not going to finish it. So I definitely shouldn't be on my soapbox for that particular case. But I feel like I get it. I don't know. I guess the ending is a little bit of a mind blower, says LeBron James. So
Nah, I wouldn't say mind blower, but it's a good ending, and it leads into a possible another.
Oh, so it's very well written, you're saying?
Yeah, it's very well written.
How many
Absolutely.
episodes and how long are they?
9 episodes.
They're 40-something, right? Is
Yeah,
that how long?
40 to 50 minutes.
Damn. Okay. That's a lot.
I will say there are some parts of every show, not just judging this one. It's been tough for me to make it through. Everything you talked about, and my wife probably would say, I have fallen asleep through this thing
Couple
4 or 5
times.
times
Yeah.
now.
Sure.
And we've had to go, where were we? We're back here. It had to be this part. No, this looks interesting. No, it's this part, I bet. And all these little conversations, very well. I enjoyed it. And I'm happy I got into it.
Yeah, and you're the best part of the show really is the second half of 6 and then 7, 8, 9.
Oh, so I thought the first, once it got going, that was going to be the best part of the show. No, the ending's better than everything I've seen already.
Yeah. The first episode's good. Second episode you don't need. Basically, a lot of the third episode you don't need. 4's all right. 5. I mean, again, to your point, there's some parts that are just slow. And then after, halftime of 6.
Hey, listen,
Bang.
456 lived a reckless life.
Oh, yeah.
456 lived a reckless life, and 001, fucking legend.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to hear a lot of them being talked about tomorrow on SmackDown, I think.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think you're going to hear a lot of potential Squid Game
A lot of
conversations.
Halloween costumes, I bet, too.
Unbelievable
From
actor.
that.
Yes.
Because
What's that?
A lot of Halloween costumes you think coming from that show?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, everybody's going to be either a triangle, a square.
I don't know what they dress up
Or
as, but whatever's hot, there's always a bunch of those costumes.
All I'm saying is if you get an opportunity to pick from a triangle, circle. No, I'm not going to say it. All right.
Don't spoil it.
I'm not. I will talk to you all. I will talk to you all tomorrow. AJ, you got Eagles plus 6.5, it sounded like.
Man, no, I got Patriots.
Shut up, dude. We
They
play
don't play
Sunday,
tonight.
you dipshit.
My bad. My bad. Tom Brady, I still think of as a Patriot. I'm sorry.
Thanks.
I have the Tampa Bay
jeez.
Buccaneers at +6.5.
Minus
Minus
6.5.
6.5.
Oh my
Whatever.
God! You got the
Good
Patriots
God.
plus 6.5 tonight. All right,
Sounds
we will
good.
keep that documented.
-6.5. Tampa Bay, they get it done.
All right, I'm on the same page as you. So it's a shame we're going to start the week. It's the same, but I think maybe this week you and me agree on everyone and we go perfect.
Why not? I'm in.
Cheers, dude.
Boom.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, dude.
Cheers, dude.
Cheers, dude. Cheers, bro. Cheers, dude.
Cheers, dude.
dude.
Cheers,
Cheers.
dude.
Cheers, dude.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, dude.
Hey, everybody watching. That's.
No, cheers.
Hey, you got a little hitchhiker thumb there. Never would have guessed. I'm surprised that thing didn't get dislocated the other way one time.
Hey, man, it does this guy. Where is it? It does
No, don't do it.
That's the show, dude. Oh my God. Hammer the risk-free same-game parlay harder than AJ Hawk
Hell
has
yeah.
obviously hammered his hands throughout his life. This is unbelievable. See you tomorrow. Cheers.